Hey everybody, welcome to the Beach Ball pregame show. And hang on just a second, this isn't Blairfield. What the heck are we doing here? We're here in Modesto on the road for the very first time. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook. It is sweltering out here. I need some water. It is 100 degrees. We just got off the bus, about a 6-hour bus ride up the coast from Long Beach, and we're getting ready to finish out the first half in style. Jesse, tell them a little bit of really anything while I chug a little bit of water.
Well, the Coast are playing the team that has hit them the hardest. The Modesto Roadsters, 9 contests this season. Modesto's won 3. That doesn't sound like a great number, but the Coast are in first place for a reason. They have really taken it to the other teams in this league. So Modesto's .333 winning percentage is the best of the other 3 teams that have faced the Coast, with the Red Pocket Mobiles, the Oakland Ballers, and the Yuba Sutter Freebirds, who the Coast just took to town last night with a huge 13-4 victory to clinch that series.
That game led off by Garrett Van Deventer, who has been nothing short of dominant his last 4 starts. 4 straight wins now for Van Deventer. He went 6 2/3 last night. Really finished the series on a strong note after a little bit of a sour note in the middle game. But now he's kind of back on pace, getting the Coast back on pace, rather, should I say. The offense is feeling themselves once more, and they could do it in this ballpark as well. We were just noticing before we set up here, the wind is starting to blow outwards, and the left field wall is calling a couple names. I'm thinking Matthew Bardowell, Emilio Corona. They're both in the lineup tonight. Maybe we'll see a Cuba Besh, Apo, Taco. But back to Van Deventer. He's still with us on the road trip, healing up from his outing last night. And after last night's contest, our sideline reporter, who's back in Long Beach currently, Nina Corral, spoke with the left-hander.
Hi, Coast fans. I'm here with our player of the game, Garrett Van Deventer. Great game tonight. Tonight is your 4th consistent win in 4 games. After the last time we saw you, your outing against the Oakland Ballers, you pitched a complete game. What is the biggest key to your consistency on the mound?
Obviously, last week trusted my defense. That was the same case today. Had some free passes, a little too many for my liking, but getting ground balls at the right time to turn double plays was big today as well.
What pitch in your arsenal has been working best for you?
It's honestly a tie between my sinker and my changeup. I just love tunneling those together and just, changing up speeds with the same movement and just getting ground balls.
What do you want to see from your team heading into the next series?
Just continuing to have big innings like that. We had a 4 spot in the 4th and a 6 spot in the 6th. So just continuing to cut good swings on pitches and just quality ABs.
Thank you, Garrett.
Thank you.
Oh, back already. All right, we're ready to go. And let's talk about this series. The Modesto Roadsters are above 500 comparative to what we saw with the Freebirds the past 6 games. They struggled against the Freebirds. 3 of the 6 games that they played in the past 6 games, they lost to the Freebirds, something that seemed pretty uncommon, but the Freebirds are looking hotter heading into the second half. The Modesto Roadsters are still an experienced squad with a lot of minor league experience. Not to mention, of the 4 teams that the Long Beach Coast have played this season, this is the team that they really struggle to get runs off of. The lowest run average per game of all 4 teams is this team, and a lot of that has to do with their starting rotation. Jonah Jenkins is on the mound tonight. They average 7 runs a game, give or take, off of the Modesto Roadsters squad. Not only that, but the lowest amount of runs per game in this specific ballpark. They've only played 3 games here thus far, so it's going to be a bit of a challenge, Jesse.
Absolutely. This is also a Modesto pitching staff that has really pitched efficiently against the Coast. We've seen them go deeper into games than most other teams. And Modesto is 4th in the Pioneer League in the overall standings. That's the best team that the Coast have played this year. The Billings Mustangs in 2nd, and the Great Falls Voyagers, Glacier Range Riders, are in 3rd. So the Coast have really only seen the best talent in the Pioneer League from these Roadsters. Now, granted, the bats still pop off, batting .317 against Modesto so far this year.
And that's pretty on par with the overall season average. As a matter of fact, I think it's just by 1 batting point, .316 on the season. But It's still going to be a bit of a challenge. JT Snow is going to be out for blood to finish out the first half strong, even though they're out of contention for the first half standings. I know this home crowd is going to want to see a dominant performance over the Long Beach Coast. We don't want to see that, but one of the key contributors last night as to the run production for those 13 runs they came across the board heading into this series was Patrick Roche, who got a couple of RBIs, a couple of doubles, but made his way aboard 5 different times on the night, 3 of which were the painful way. He's out of the starting lineup tonight, but I still spoke with him just a few moments ago. Take a listen. First beach ball pregame show interview from the road. This is not your first time in Modesto. This is our first time. What do you remember about this ballpark, and what does the ballpark give? What does the ballpark take?
My biggest thing is just left field's huge. So for me, as someone who likes to hit balls in the gaps and try and get extra base hits that way instead of hitting it over the outfielders, it was pretty appealing to me looking at the big outfield. But it's just cool knowing that this used to be an affiliate ballpark, and seeing the big video board and stuff is pretty cool. So it's a nice stadium, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, the big video board just to our left, just out of frame. We are in left field at Modern Woodman Park? Yep. No, Modern Woodman Field. I guess I should learn that before the broadcast starts. Anyways, you were talking about extra base hits and how much this large outfield gives. You had a couple doubles last night, but that's not the only way you reached base, and unfortunately for you, it was kind of the painful way. We did this gag with Cooper Vest, so I'm going to do it with you. I think you might need some Aleve.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So, 3 hit by pitches last night. You're trailing Cooper Vest still by 7. You're at 11 right now. What was it like? I mean, you didn't think that those pitchers were pitching at you intentionally, did you?
No, I didn't. It's just one of those things, like, it doesn't feel good ever to get hit by a pitch, but it's always good. Like, if you get hit by a pitcher on first base, and with our lineup with guys like Bardo, Jabbo, Vesti, everybody, literally, like, getting on first base could mean a 2-run home run. So it's always good to get on first base.
Plus, you got an RBI for one of them,
yep.
I think, too. 2 RBI on the night last night in the series finale against the Freebirds. You're out of the lineup tonight, so you get a little bit of a rest day. What do you do to maintain yourself while you wait for your next opportunity at the plate?
Well, I'm just going to be taking BP the same, doing the cage routine the same thing every day, pretty much. Kind of keeping that stuff the same, and then kind of just trying to stay out of the heat. I'm a Northeast guy, so this 100-degree weather's a little bit too hot for me. So I'm going to try and stay in the shade and be rested for tomorrow.
Preach, brother. Well, I can say right now that this is going to be a very hot series. This is going to be a very difficult series because this particular team has limited runs against us, the Long Beach Coast. It's actually the hardest team that we've had to face in terms of teams that have limited runs. We average about 7 runs a game on these guys. So what are the keys to this series, do you think, for the team in general?
I think it's the same as always. Like, with our lineup, there's always a chance of somebody doing damage. So if everybody's doing their role, playing their job, or doing their job, playing their role, and finding ways to get on base, then not trying to be the guy to hit the home run, someone's going to hit the home run, and it's going to be someone different every day, and that's why our offense is so special. So I'm excited that I get to sit back and kind of watch them work today. So see who gets to be the platypus player of the game.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, Patty Rowe, and more beach ball pregame show coming up right now.
Hey again, Long Beach Coast on the road. It's the first time the broadcast is going with the team here at Modern Woodman Field in Modesto, California. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller. Thanks for tuning into our beach ball pregame report. After a short break, we've got a little bit more before we get to first pitch at 7-11. By the way, I am excited for tomorrow's first pitch being at 7-11 on 7-11. I haven't checked Google Maps yet, but I would bet that in the vicinity there probably has to be at least one 7-Eleven store.
Well, you got to go to a 7-Eleven, get your free Slurpee. I am not paid by 7-Eleven. This is just a tradition. Maybe we got to divert the bus from the hotel over to a 7-Eleven on the way to work tomorrow.
You know, this is happening live. I'm going to go to Google Maps right now and see where the nearest 7-Eleven is to this ballpark in preparation of tomorrow. The nearest 7-Eleven, 0.8 miles, Joey. Might be the trip.
All right. Well, we got some time in the morning tomorrow. We just drove here today with the team. Well, we didn't drive. The bus driver drove us here from this morning, and we took the 6-hour road trip up the coast with the coast for, like you said, our first road trip. We're really excited to be broadcasting for you live here in Modesto, where it is a sweltering 88 degrees. Though I will say it felt a lot hotter when we got off the bus. It just kind of hit you like a wave.
Well, Joey, it was hotter. That was midday when we got here. Now we're out at 7 o'clock and creeping towards a few shades darker in the sky. It's still very bright at the moment, but it did reach up to 100 degrees by the time we were filming our pregame report. So we stuck it out, and we're glad to have you all with us here, both on our YouTube stream and on the Home Team Network. We talked a little bit about the starting matchup. Nick Bautista out there for the Coast with a .491 earned run average, a 3-1 record. On the other side, it's a name that Coast fans have heard before in Jonah Jenkins, as this is his third time starting against Long Beach. Last time on June 28th, he went for the win. 6 innings here in Modesto, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits and striking out 5. Coast fans also caught a glimpse of Jenkins in Long Beach when he went 5 innings for the loss on June 11th. 10 hits, 6 runs, also 6 strikeouts then. So, Coast 1-1 against Jonah Jenkins. Nick Bautista headed out there today for Long Beach, and he faced off with Modesto just once, also on June 11th. Bautista going for a rematch against Jenkins, and in that contest he pitched just 3 innings, but he left without a scratch mark. 1 hit, no runs, 4 strikeouts. He did take a comebacker off the hand, though, and was forced to leave the game early.
And Bautista will assume the alternate moniker we got going on tonight. It's the 10th ever Regulators night, and based on the Modesto jerseys, are they also going with the black?
No, Modesto is wearing their white home jerseys today.
Good.
We'll talk about the jerseys a little more later when we can see them more clearly, but they're engaging in the pregame introductions, giving Modesto its outfield. And we haven't gotten to the national anthem yet, as far as I'm aware, so we will pause when that happens. But Kingston Liniak out there, Joey, I remember he just brutalized the Coast despite Long Beach taking that home series 4-2.
Yeah, he is an absolute slugger and a little bit of a Pioneer League veteran in 2024 with the Glacier Range Riders. Finished top in categories like OPS and slugging. So he is definitely one of the many threats of this very experienced lineup by JT Snow, the manager for the Modesto Roadsters. This is also the first time in a while, or at least in at least a week, that the Long Beach Coast, or Regulators tonight, are facing off against a team that's above 500. Now, they're obviously out of contention for the first half playoffs. Those two have been clinched by, well, the Long Beach Coast and the Billings Mustangs. But this could be a team that could contend in the second half. They finished in the top 4. They're looking to finish in the top 4 in the first half and just try and charge into the second half full steam ahead.
That's the idea for Modesto under manager JT Snow. much like Troy Percival, a very well-known name as he played for the San Francisco Giants. We're going to pause for the national anthem. We thank you so much for listening to us and enjoy the national anthem. Well, with the lovely rendition of the national anthem, it's time for Coast Baseball here on the road against the Roadsters. Friday night baseball on the way. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller here at Modern Woodman Field in Modesto, California. Eddie Pelk set to lead off for the Coast in the top of the first inning, followed by Dylan Lena, the third baseman. Pelk, the DH today. Cooper Vest in the 3 spot in right field. Matthew Bartowell batting fourth in left. Cuba Best, the first baseman. Jacob Jablonski at second. Emilio Corona batting seventh. He's in center field. Anthony Mata is the shortstop batting eighth. And Johnny Pappas rounds things out for the Coast batting ninth. And Long Beach rebranding for the evening here on the road as the Long Beach Regulators, wearing the black jerseys with the white Gothic font text across the chest with the chain link Coast underneath and the Times New Roman style Gothic letters on the back for the numbers, gray pants and black socks with black caps, and the script R on the front of the brim there. As for Modesto, the pitcher Jonah Jenkins dealing against Long Beach's Nick Bautista. Jenkins a righty, and he's wearing the Modesto home white jerseys with the script Modesto written in neon, teal, and red across the chest with a number on the hip emblazoned in red and on the back in the same color. Baby blue caps with the red M on the front and a red brim as well. Third time that the Coast are facing Jonah Jenkins. And Joey, let's hear about who's behind him in the field.
Well, the Modesto Roadsters, how they pan out in the outfield. It'll be Kingston Liniak in left. A new face that we have not seen in the prior series at Long Beach. Tyler Williams in center field. Justin Boyd in right. Around the horn in the infield, Max Handren, Jacob Lejewski, and Osiris Johnson up the middle. Bryce Cannon at first. We remember Osiris Johnson had a couple costly errors in Long Beach that led to a couple of Coast wins. Harry Owen behind the plate to catch the second-year Pioneer League right-hander Jonah Jenkins.
And that second year you just mentioned settles in on the third base side of the rubber. Underneath blue skies, not a cloud in sight. He winds home to the lefty Pelk. First pitch swung on and bounced to the right side and through. Eddie Pelk leads off the game with a first pitch single. His on-base streak that has lasted the entire season, appearing in every game, moves up to 46. Not a bad way to start for the Regulators. This game gets going at 7:14 p.m. Pacific time. There is a light breeze creeping out from home plate out to left field. Dylan Lena's long hair stretching down to the small of his back, billowing a little bit that way. Righty-righty affair, first pitch to Lena. He swings and rockets that one into shallow left field for a knock. Pelk takes a big curve around second, but holds up as Kingston Liniak catches up with that ball off the bounce. 2 pitches, 2 hits for the Coast. Rebranding as the Regulators tonight. Cooper Vest definitely wants to stay on brand this series. He has 9 home runs this season. All of them have been away from home, and here we are outside the friendly confines of Blair Field at modern Woodman Field. A good 6-hour drive north. Another lefty for Long Beach here. Jenkins stares at second, kicks high. Vest swings and spirals that one foul to the backstop. 3 pitches from Jenkins. All of them have been hittable, all of them attacked.
And none of them have found the glove of Harry Owen yet. That one fouled back to the backstop. He didn't have a chance at it.
Jenkins out of the stretch, in the dirt. 1-1 count for Vest. Jenkins walking into this game with a .455 earned run average, and he's been on the winning side a bunch. 5 decisions, 4 of them victorious. This is his 10th appearance and 10th time starting. He rears back and fires and misses high and outside on the fastball. 2-1 count. 89 miles per hour there on that heater. Vest could use a pick-me-up in the home half of this week against the Freebirds. He went just 1 for 9. Out of the stretch, he checks his swing at a ball in the dirt. Stopped by sliding Harry Owen. 3-1 count. Now, to Coop's credit, to complement that one hit were 4 walks and once being hit by the pitch, plus a sacrifice fly. So although he didn't get the job done every time he put the ball in play, definitely kept a watchful eye against the Freebirds. Long Beach taking 2 of 3 games against Yuba Sutter to start this, the last week of the first half of the season. Jenkins from the stretch again. That's ball 4. That misses high and outside again, resorting to his fastball. He's faced 3 members of the Regulators lineup, and all 3 of them have reached base, setting the stage for Matthew Bardowell. 2 of the 9 Bardo blasts we've seen this season have been for Grand Slams. He is the only member of the LBC with multiple Grandies. Righty-righty affair. First pitch. Misses downstairs and away. Bardowell starts the week 4 for 13. He boasts a .352 batting average on the season. Jenkins from the hip, swung on and belted high to right field, tracking back Boyd, feeling for the fence. He reaches up, he makes the catch on the warning track. Pelk tags from third, he scores. Long Beach leads 1-0. That also moves Lena up from second to third as well, with 1 away in the top of the first inning. Matthew Bardowell puts the Coast, the Regulators, tonight on the board with a sacrifice fly here in the first inning. And Cuba Best gets a chance now with runners on the corners. Jenkins takes a moment to reset. He throws back to second to check on if Lena left early, and the signal from base umpire Blake Dempsey is that he is safe. Behind the plate, it's David Harrison. The crew chief, Ricardo Rodriguez, is at first. And then Blake Dempsey, who we just mentioned, straddling the area between second and third. Righty pitching to lefty with Bess at the plate. Out of the stretch, inside and low over the shoelaces, 1-0 count. Bess tied with Emilio Corona for the team lead in home runs at 13, and he started off the season hot, leading the Pioneer League through the first 3 weeks of the season. That was when he had 8 home runs to his credit. The pitch, he swings, taps that one out to second, fielded by Johnson, throws to second for 1, but it's offline. It pulls the shortstop Lejewski off the bag. He still toe drags to keep himself steady for the out, but the run comes home in the form of Dylan Lena, and Bess is aboard at first. 2-0 Long Beach with 2 away in the top of the first inning.
Coming to the plate, number 27, Jacob Jablonski.
Now the switch hitting Jacob Jablonski bends in on the left side of the dish here. He missed some time this week dealing with soreness, but he's 2 for 4 in the time that he's played. First pitch to him is belted to deep right center field. That's hanging up towards the wall, and that bounces in front of the fence. Bass has the green light around third, and here he comes home. Jablonski's into second with a double. The throw escapes to the bag. Jablonski's back aboard, and Bass scores. It's 3-0 Long Beach in the top of the first inning with 2 away. Jacob Jablonski firing off a 2-bagger. That's something we've seen him do in droves this season as he leads the team with 17 of those.
Coming to the plate, number 11, Emilio Corona.
Emilio Corona heading up to the dish now. We mentioned his tie with Cuba Best for the team lead in dingers. Facing the Colorado native on the bump, California man at the plate in Corona. Stands at the back of the box. Highlight kick. He swings and ropes that one out past the diving shortstop Lejewski into left field. There's the wave at third. Jablonski on his way home. Throw to the infield. Cut off, and he scores. 4-0. The Regulators lead with 2 away in the top of the first. Emilio Corona joining in on the hit parade with a knock to left field for a single.
And now you just got to keep pushing. The Regulators and the Coast, we saw the first time they batted around in the lineup just in the past series against the Freebirds. They've done it on the road, but they could do it in the first inning and just start off this game strong.
And something flipped for this team with runners in scoring position as well. The Freebirds started off the week for Long Beach, but the first homestand against them was a major point of change. First pitch fastball for a strike to the righty Anthony Mata. On June 19th, the Coast started a trend where before that point they batted just .293 with runners in scoring position. Since that point, it's .343. Throw over to first, and Corona is back in standing. You do want to keep an eye on him. He leads the team with 19 swiped bags this season. Additionally, the Coast stranded 10.3 runners per game over those first 27 contests. Since then, only 9.3 per game. There goes Corona for second. The pitch misses downstairs and away. The throw to the bag is way too late and into center field, but Corona holds up at the Keystone base. 20 steals for Emilio Corona in 2026.
You saw that throw down from Owen, almost nailed his pitcher Jenkins in the back. He had to tumble out of the way off the mound. The throw a little bit wide, as was the way of the pitch.
Anthony Mata swivels back in while Jenkins regains his bearings after that scary throw up the middle there. 1-1 count, 2 away. The pitch, he swings and fouls it off to the right side over the stands. 1-2 count. It's 4-0 Long Beach in the top of the first inning. The shadows peeking across the infield over the first baseline now, encompassing most of the mound, but Jenkins still holding his head in the light. Stares at Corona on second. There he goes for third. The pitch, a curveball that misses high and inside, and there's no throw. Emilio Corona steals back-to-back bases, and he's got 21 on the year now.
Emilio Corona, the chameleon, is also just 7 home runs away from potentially joining the 2020 club. He's already in double digits.
That's right, with his 13 that we mentioned earlier. 2-2 for Mata. Runner on third. The pitch. He swings. Tears that one past the diving shortstop Lejewski. That's a gapper rolling towards the wall. Mata with a big curve around first. There he goes for second. The relay to the infield, and he slides in safely with an RBI double. Corona scoring to make it 5-0 Long Beach in the top of the first inning, still with 2 away. This is the first place team in the Pioneer League, the Long Beach Coast, rebranding as the Regulators tonight. And I would call this a regular occurrence, but maybe not this early in the game. Long Beach in the first inning this year has definitely succeeded with a net positive in every frame, but 50 runs is on the lower side for their total in an inning. First pitch to Johnny Pappas, the right-handed catcher, falls for a strike low and away. He is the 9th batter of this inning. Jenkins drops his black glove to his belt. Out of the stretch. Swung on and belted over the backstop. 0-2 count.
And I love how the Regulators are just going into these at-bats, not realizing, well, they realize, but going into it without a two-out approach. They're acting like this is just one out. They're going to keep trying to get the merry-go-round going.
0-2. Pappas checks his swing on the slider that misses outside and high. 1-2 count. They've been conservative with their approach at the plate this season. Eddie Pelk, who's on deck, exemplifies that, leading the Pioneer League with 67 walks in 46 games. Next pitch, high and away on the fastball, 2-2 count. But the Coast have been aggressive in this inning with with 4 first pitch hits. Eddie Pelk, Dylan Lena, Jacob Jablonski, and Emilio Corona all boarding on the first toss their way. 2-2. Pappas swings and misses at a slider in the left-handed batter's box. The Coast send 9 men to the plate and score 5 runs in the top of the first inning. We move on to the bottom half. Nick Bautista taking the bump for the first time against Modesto tonight. We'll be back on the Home Team Network. What a start for the Long Beach Regulators. In this, the series opener against the Modesto Roadsters. 5-0 your score as we move on to the bottom of the first inning. The Coast rebranding as the Regulators today, getting 5 runs across the plate on 5 hits. Now the right-hander Nick Bautista set for his first work tonight against Jacob Lejewski, a fellow righty. First pitch, fastball called a strike low and inside. Bautista walks into this one with a .491 earned run average, 3 wins, 1 loss. He started the year with the Oakland Ballers, dealt to Long Beach after 3 appearances there. He kicks high. Bounces that one downstairs. It's a 1-1 count. Now Bautista is making his 8th outing as a member of the LBC. And in that time with Long Beach specifically, his ERA is down at .440. Debuted on May 30th. 1-1. Misses inside and low. Made his season debut out in Oakland back on May 21st. He actually faced the Coast twice on May 26th and 27th before manager Troy Percival just scooped him up on the way out of town. From the windup, heater first strike at the belt. Lejewski, 5th on the team in batting average for Modesto at a .330 line. Bautista takes a heavy breath, kicks high, swing and a sharp foul ball to the left side. As you might recall, the West Palm Beach, Florida native at the plate signed undrafted out of college with the Blue Jays back in 2024. Next pitch. Checks his swing on a curve in the dirt and holds up, according to the crew chief out at first base, Ricardo Rodriguez. Count moves to full. Lejewski signed on July 22nd, so he's coming up on that first MILB contract anniversary in 12 days. He played in Single A and High A before the Vancouver Canadians released him on August 15th of last year. Three and two to the leadoff man. There it is. That's pelted over the backstop and over our heads. Press box here in Modesto, hanging maybe a good 30 feet in the air, but good 50 feet pushed back from home plate.
And unlike our vantage point at Blair Field, this has a chance of potentially making it into the press box. It would still have to be the right angle on a foul ball back.
3-2 again. He swings, corkscrews that one behind short. Mata chasing. He makes the catch on the run. Modesto battles with Jacob Lejewski, forcing an 8-pitch at-bat, but he pops out to end it. Still, that is the job of the leadoff man. Let your teammates see what the pitcher is throwing. They got a good taste of it there. Here's Max Handren now batting on the left side. Handren from Santa Rosa here in California. Bautista sets. Tan glove at the belt, kicks up high. Swinging a high fly ball, center field and deep. Moving back towards the wall, Emilio Corona. Feeling for the fence. He looks up and that ball is gone. Lejewski provides the look for his teammates. Handren evidently studied. 5-1 Long Beach with one away in the bottom of the first inning. And there's Rally O'Malley, Modesto's leprechaun tertiary mascot, to gift Handren his pot of gold to take into the dugout.
Oh boy, that thing's creepy.
I'm a fan. I hate to say it, I'm a fan. I love it.
It reminds me of the St. Louis Billiken.
Well, here's Max Handren's successor in Osiris Johnson, a first-round pick of the Marlins. Righty pitches to righty. Curve ball bounces. Johnson leading the Roadsters in batting average at .381, has piled on a team best 11 home runs. Marlins picked him up in 2018 out of the stretch. Heater high and inside for a strike. 1-1 count, 89 miles per hour there on the fastball. Bautista pitching from the very edge to the first base side of the rubber. Takes a heavy breath, whirls home, swung on and fouled to the back netting. 1-2 count. Modesto's ballpark, formerly the arena that held the Modesto Nuts, a Single A affiliate of the Seattle Mariners and a few other teams along the way, stretches out very wide behind the concourse, and the netting runs down both foul lines but cuts short, maybe 30 yards in front of the foul pole. The netting drops down almost to dirt level. 1-2. Fastball shanked into the lefty box. 2-2 count. The outfield wall at its base for the first 10 or 15 feet up is a baby blue, some spots covered by sponsored banners, but above that is an unblemished red, rising up abruptly in dead center field to the batter's eye. 2-2. He swings and jabs that one down the left field line. Foul. Johnson keeping himself alive in a 2-2 count. 5-1. Regulators your score. Bottom of the first inning here on Friday night in Modesto. Base is empty. Down the foul lines, it's 312 feet to the wall in left, 319 in right. We'll give you more field geography in a moment. Bautista fires again, and once again, Osiris Johnson bounces that one foul. In left center, it's 383 feet, 370 to right center. And then once things round out, in dead center field, it's an even 400. Definitely a home run friendly ballpark. Bautista's 2-2. Swinging a high pop fly behind shortstop, chasing in from left field, Eddie Pelk. He camps out underneath and makes the catch. And correction, that's Matthew Bardowell in left field. Force of habit. Eddie Pelk has been there almost every game, but he gets what for him is a rest, still playing, but as the DH. 2 away, Bryce Cannon taking a trip up to the plate here. Modesto's offense, by the way, has slugged the 4th fewest home runs in the Pioneer League with 63. Bautista deals home, and the lefty Cannon watches that one dance inside and low for ball 1. The Coast, on the other hand, have slugged 85 homers, which is 3rd best in the entire PBL. Infield shifted towards first. The 1-0, hefty swing and miss over the 85-mile-per-hour breaking ball. Bautista resets again, his ivory cleats blending in with the rubber. Whips on home and sails that fastball overhead.
And to your point about the home runs, where they make up for it is with these odd dimensions of Modern Woodman Field. They have 12 triples. Maybe not all of them here, but there is a couple triples alleys that I can see.
2-1 swung on and missed. And keep in mind, the Regulators have exactly that same number of triples. Blair Field, also a ballpark friendly to a little Little League-style chaos. And it's definitely a cavernous outfield here in Central Valley. Bautista's 2-2 to end the inning. Swing and a miss. Cannon retired for Bautista's first strikeout. Handren goes yard to put the Roadsters on the board, but still the Coast Regulators tonight lead 5-1, heading back to the bats in the top of the second with the top of the order due up, and the Cook Quiz on the way with Coast Baseball returning on the Home Team Network. Rolling back to it in Modesto, California for the top of the second inning. The Long Beach Regulators leading 5-1 with the top of the order due up. Jonah Jenkins, the righty, fires a first pitch fastball to the left-handed hitting Eddie Pelk. On 1 count, and the Pelk Man delivered last time up. That's been his nickname this season, the Pelk Man. 0-1, he swings, taps that one to second base. Osiris Johnston bobbles it, recovers, sidearms to first on time to grab him. Pelk, who extended his on-base streak up to 46 games to lead off the road half of this ball game. A first pitch single is retired there to lead off the second. That makes room for Dylan Lena at the dish here. Since we're in Modesto, I thought we'd take the Cook Quiz to Modesto, and we're wondering which former Modesto minor league player recorded the highest number of managerial wins in baseball in Major League Baseball. First pitch from righty to righty, Dylan Lena watches a fastball low and outside for ball 1. Dealing out of the windup, Jenkins winds on home. Curves in for a strike, low and away. It's a 1-1 count. So, which Modesto minor leaguer recorded the highest number of wins as a manager in Major League Baseball? Pause on the field as home plate umpire David Harrison signals for the challenge called by Dylan Lena. And we're still waiting for the signal down to the field on whether or not that challenge was successful. It appears as if that will be confirmed as a strike, so Long Beach is 0 for 1 on its challenge attempts.
Modesto has both challenges remaining. This has been brought to you by Red Pocket Mobile.
1-1 count, one away, base is empty, top of the second inning. Long Beach ahead 5-1. And Joey, we'll get some more hints as we go along, but I will tell you that this manager helmed teams both in the American and National League, and I believe took both to a World Series. I'll double check that. Next pitch, misses high and outside, a 2-1 count.
Now, clarify, Jesse, you say Modesto manager as in somebody who managed here.
2-1, misses low and outside. At no point did I utter the words Modesto manager. I said former Modesto minor leaguer that would go on to provide a relatively illustrious managerial career. 3-1 pitch. He swings and pelts that to the backstop. Full count. We'll talk about this person's playing career in the bottom half of this inning. Jenkins takes a heavy breath, kicks up high, swinging a dribbler, third base side, and foul. Lena keeping himself alive. And just to clarify from earlier, yes, this person did win the World Series as a manager in both the American and National League. Probably more famously in the National League, though, because he did it multiple times there. 3-2. Swinging a high fly ball, shallow left field, chasing in Justin Boyd. He waits for a moment and makes the one-handed catch. 2 up, 2 down in the top of the second inning. Quite the reversal from the way the first inning got going with back-to-back first pitch singles from Eddie Pellick and Dylan Lena. Then ended up buoying that 5-run rally on 5 hits. Here's Cooper Vest. He reached on a 5-pitch walk his first time up. The right-hander sidesteps in. Here it is. Curveball by the knees for ball 1. And Vest, we talked about how he had struggled a little bit this past week. Despite that, he's still batting all the way up at .331 on the year. Next pitch. Fastball for a strike, low and away. Vest checked on that signal with the home plate umpire a moment after it came through, but I don't believe we've actually seen him try to challenge a pitch this season. 1-1. Downstairs on the breaking ball, 2-1 count. BYU man does it old-fashioned here. No challenge attempts for Vest. Glove at the eyes. Here's the pitch. Swung on and batted over the back netting. Two and 2 count, 2 away, bases empty, top 2. Regulators ahead by 4. Next pitch, backdoor curveball called, strike 3. Vest retired by way of the backwards K for Jenkins' second strikeout. We move on to the bottom of the second inning. Long Beach ahead by 4 with Regulators baseball returning with the Cook Quiz answer on the Home Team Network. Bottom of the second inning on the way from Modesto, California. Long Beach ahead 5-1 over the Roadsters. Nick Bautista, the right-hander, facing a fellow righty, and Kingston Liniak, the left fielder for the hometown crew. First pitch bounces low and outside. Bautista facing Modesto for the second time this season. Last time he did it was on June 11th when he also went opposite Jonah Jenkins, Modesto's starter today. Although we talked about it earlier, Bautista left that game early with a hand injury. His 1-0. Liniak watches. That's strike one there as the fastball connects right about belt high. Liniak 3 for his last 9 against Long Beach, dating back to the most recent road series for the Regulators here in June 26th through 28th. Next pitch, swung on, nubbed out toward short. Anthony Mata charging, fields at the ankle, sidearms to first. In time. A suspenseful pause from crew chief first base umpire Ricardo Rodriguez gives the visiting team the punch it wanted. One away in the bottom of the second inning. We're still playing the Cook quiz, and we're wondering which former Modesto minor leaguer ended up with the highest number of managerial wins in Major League Baseball. We established that this headman helmed multiple World Series teams, at least one in each the American and National League. First pitch to the righty, Justin Boyd. He checks his swing in a high curveball, 1-0 count. And I will tell you that this person's tenure here in the Central Valley for Modesto was as a manager in the Cardinals affiliation, but when the team was called the Modesto Reds. In 1967. 1-0. Swinging a high, deep drive to left center field. Tracking back Matthew Bardowell, looking at the fence and looking up above where the ball lands for a home run. 2 hits for the hometown crew, 2 dingers.
Justin Boyd was also a menace at Blair Field. Now he can get a couple off here in his home against the very same team.
And Boyd goes yard there for his 5th home run of the season. It's 5-2 Long Beach. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the second inning. Now bringing up Tyler Williams. Righty-righty affair. First pitch, he bends with the curveball and holds back. Williams in his 20th game here for Modesto, now battling with an 0-1 count. He's batting .370. Bautista kicks and fires, swing and a miss. 0-2 count for the 6'1" outfielder. Joey, what managers are creeping through your mind for the Cook quiz?
Well, I'm not sure how many he won as a manager, World Series, that is.
0-2, fouled off to the near side.
But for some reason, wait, no, you said Cardinals, so that eliminates that.
He was a manager in Modesto when it was a Cardinals affiliate, yes.
Could he have potentially been a St. Louis Cardinal in his playing career?
No. No, he could not have, because he wasn't. 0-2, swung on and belted high and deep to right center field. Cooper Vest looking back, and that's over his head. 1 hop on the fence. He picks up off the hop and launches it back to the infield to hold Williams to a double. Runner on second, 1 out. 3-run Long Beach lead in the bottom of the second inning, but Modesto has the tying run on deck now. Dom Rodriguez, the designated hitter, sets up on the right side. He has to wait for a moment while the LBC's catcher, Johnny Pappas, talks to Bautista on the mound. This person played 1 year in the major leagues as a ball player, not a manager, and that was for the Philadelphia Phillies in 1959. And I say this is not too shabby for a major league season. He batted .218, doing so across 152 games. But you know what? There's a reason I'm in the broadcast booth and not out on the field. Righty-righty affair. First pitch to Rodriguez. Curves in for a strike at the belt, 0-1 count. He ended his managerial career with 2,193 wins. 545 all-time personal winning percentage, as a Major League manager. 0-1, nubbed out towards second. Charging at the ball, Jacob Jablonski, who flies on to first for out number 2. That moves Williams over to third. 2 away, bottom of the second inning. Harry Owen taking his cuts now. Now that they're 2 away, Joey, what are you thinking?
I've been back and forth, but all the hints that you've been giving have been eliminating my guesses. I was originally going to go with somebody like Joe Torre when you said Cardinals around that time period, but he didn't play for the Cardinals.
First pitch lands in the dirt. It's a 1-0 count. This person managed for a Cardinals affiliate, although he did not manage for St. Louis in the major leagues. He ended up winning 2 World Series with his NL team, 1 with his AL team. I can tell you, the AL team he won in 1984, if that helps you out. 1-0. Fastball called a strike, high and away.
1984.
In a town like Modesto that boasts its cars, there were some big machinations with his National League team, if that means anything to you. 1-1. Check swing low and outside. And again, the Modesto Reds was the team he managed here in the Central Valley, but it was under the Cardinals affiliation. Did so in 1967. Ended up winning 79 games for that Modesto team, 61 losses. Next pitch, swung on, roped out to short. Anthony Mata has it at the ankles. Crow hops to first for the out. Who do you think?
It's going to be wrong, but I'll go Bruce Bochy.
The answer, and we'll talk about it after a break, is Sparky Anderson. We'll be back. The Coast as the Regulators bring it up 4, 5, and 6 when we return on the Home Team Network. Rolling back to it in Modesto with a 5-2 Long Beach lead. The Regulators trotting back up to the plate. Matthew Bardowell leading off here in the top of the third inning. Righty affair, Jonah Jenkins still on the bump. The Modesto starter allowed 5 runs on 5 hits in that first inning, but retired the LBC in order in the second. First pitch to Bardowell, who takes a greedy cut over the slider for strike 1. We were talking about our Cook quiz from last inning, asking which former Modesto minor leaguer amassed the highest number of major league wins as a manager. 0-1. Slider misses low and away. It's a 1-1 count. And the answer was Sparky Anderson. We didn't specify initially if it was that this person played in Modesto or managed in Modesto, but Anderson managed the Modesto Reds in 1967. 1-1. Bardowell cuts and misses behind the slider there. 1-2 count. In a 140-game season, Anderson managed the Modesto Reds of the Cardinals affiliation to the second-place finish. 1-2 downstairs. He did so with a 79-61 record, right behind the San Jose Bees. And after that, Anderson would spend 1 year in the Reds AA system in Asheville before moving up to the big leagues in 1970. Next pitch, called strike 3. Fastball low and away to Barnwell for the first out here in the top of the third. Long Beach ahead 5-2. Cuba Bess grounded into an RBI fielder's choice last time up. He digs in on the left side. Anderson took the 1969 season off from managing in any organized capacity as a coach, but in 1970 debuted as the Reds' head man in Cincinnati. First pitch from righty to lefty, a curveball downstairs, 1-0 counting. Modesto minor league baseball wrapped up its lengthy history in the affiliate system after last season with the Modesto Nuts moving to Rancho Cucamonga. Well, a lot of shuffling was done. 1-0, best swings and misses. The Angels took on Rancho Cucamonga, and so the Dodgers moved the affiliation from Modesto to Ontario for the Tower Buzzers to begin their tenure this season. 1-1. Changeup floats high and outside for a 2-1 count. So we've got a lot of Modesto-themed trivia for this weekend planned. Jenkins winds the 2-1. Best swings and misses. 2-2 count after he struggles to catch up to the 90-mile-per-hour heater there. Best readjusts his batting gloves before stepping back into the box. He leads the Long Beach crew in RBIs with 60 now. 2-2. He cuts and bounces that one off the first base dugout, foul. And that's barehanded by makeshift first base coach Tyler Young for Long Beach off a bounce.
Cuba Bess getting 3 of those RBI last night.
Very strong performance with 3 hits. 2-2. He chases one in the dirt for strike 3. And what a rebound this has been for Jonah Jenkins. He allows 5 runs on 5 hits, retires Johnny Pappas to end the first inning, and that makes now 6 consecutive outs for the Colorado native. He struck out his last 3 batters, ending the second, retiring Cooper Vest. Jacob Jablonski singled last time up. The switch hitter batting as a lefty here. 5-2 Long Beach, top of the third inning. 2 away, bases empty. Out of the windup. Breaking ball lands for a strike high and away. Next pitch. Curveball bends high and outside, but lands for a strike on the back door. 0-2 count. 78 miles per hour there on that bender. LED is newly flipped on beyond the outfield wall here in Modesto. Lights canvassing a still sunlit ballpark. The 0-2. Fastball misses on the outer half for a 1-2 count. The sun hasn't totally dipped behind the first base bleachers yet, as there are still spots of sunlight out in left field, but most of the field is covered in shadow. 1-2. Sock level on the fastball. 2-2 count for Jablonski. Jabs exited the Saturday game against Yuba Sutter, Independence Day, with an apparent injury. Sat out Sunday and Tuesday, pinch hit on Wednesday, and made his first start back yesterday on Thursday to wrap up the homestand. 2-2. Heater misses inside and low at 91 miles per hour. It's a full count for Jablonski. 2 away, top of the third inning. Bases empty. Long Beach ahead by 3. Waiting on deck is Emilio Corona, who also singled his way aboard last time up. 3-2. Misses low and outside on another fastball. So Jablonski, who starts out 0-2, rebounds with 4 straight pitches out of the zone. And it looked like Jenkins and Jablonski shared some sentiment after that pitch came through. Jenkins took a hefty walk around his mound closer to the first base line. Corona digs in, crowding the plate on the right side. After singling last time up, he stole 2 bases and scored. Next pitch misses low and outside for a 1-0 count on the curve. Corona jumping up with his team leading 21 steals now on the season. Out of the stretch, He swings and fouls that one over the back netting.
Not only that, but he is creeping up to Osiris Johnson, who is the team leader for the Modesto Roadsters, tied for third, the Pioneer League stolen base lead.
1-1. Corona swings and pops that up into shallow center field. No man's land coming in from center. Williams, and he makes the catch, losing his hat on the run. Good effort to drive in there and rob Corona of a hit. By the way, that stolen base number for Osiris Johnson at 23, 2 ahead of Emilio Corona. Coming up for Modesto, Johnson is due up third. Max Hendren in front of him and Jacob Lejewski leading off 5-2 Long Beach when we come back for the bottom of the third inning with Regulators Baseball returning on the Home Team Network. It's back to the top of the order for the hometown crew, the Modesto Roadsters. Now at the plate, Jacob Lejewski leading off the bottom of the third inning, followed by Max Hendren and Osiris Johnson. For Long Beach, Nick Bautista is back on the bump, carrying a 5-2 lead, buoyed by that 5-run, 5-hit top of the first inning for his side. First pitch in the righty-righty affair, bent high and inside to Lejewski for ball 1. And Lejewski battled to the tune of 8 pitches to lead off the home half of the ball game, but he ended up popping out to short. Anthony Mata made a relatively acrobatic grab on the early outfield grass to make that play. 1-0. Breaking ball hits for a strike, low and away. Mata had to follow this corkscrew trajectory on the ball and jumped at the end of his track to get there. He waits deep at shortstop here. Bautista's 1-1. Fastball misses downstairs to the former Blue Jays farmhand Lejewski. We talked about that earlier. He is not the only member of this Modesto crew who made it to minor league baseball undrafted. Bautista settles in again. Harry Owen, the catcher for Modesto, made it to the Brave system, also undrafted. Next pitch, called a strike, low and away on the fastball, but Lejewski immediately, very nonchalantly, challenges that. And checking in with the ABS, TrackMan Strike Zone Challenge system, it looks like the batter got that one right.
Yeah, well outside.
And the public address got a little confused there. The strike call was overturned to a ball. Home plate umpire David Harrison is double checking and asking to make sure that that is corrected. Modesto is successful on its challenge attempt. It is a 3-1 count to the leadoff man. Bottom of the third inning, 5-2 Long Beachers score. Modesto at the plate. The Coast 0 for 1 on challenges, rebranding as the Regulators tonight. 3-1. Fastball called a strike for sure this time at the knees. Long Beach, regardless of whether the games are played at home or on the road, rebrand every Friday night in the black and white Regulators jerseys, replacing the usually cream, gray, and teal colored Long Beach Coast regular jerseys. The 3-2. Swung on and ripped right up the middle underneath Bautista's back foot for a knock. And Lejewski on a full count leads off the bottom of the third with a laser beam single. That one 103 miles per hour off the bat. What a rocket.
Bautista, the way he landed, there was no way he could have turned his body in time. That was just past his cleat.
Max Handren digs in on the left side. He sent the ball a mile last time up for Modesto's first hit, a home run to dead center field. Bautista out of the stretch. The left-handed batter watches the curveball wind its way in for a strike. Handren, 25 years old, from Santa Rosa here in California. Played 5 seasons of college ball. 0-1, he swings and taps that over the backstop. It's an 0-2 count. He started out with a couple seasons at St. Bonaventure in 2020, and then played his last 3 at Cal, ending in 2025. Also played in the California Collegiate League for 3 years with the Sonoma Stompers. Bautista's 0-2. He swings and spirals that one to the left side and foul. Up into a largely unoccupied section of the bleachers. Beautiful day in Modesto. It has been blue skies without a blemish since we rolled into town around 2 p.m. today. 0-2. Swing and a foul ball off to the right side now on the ground. Despite the beauty of those blue skies, we couldn't help sweating a little bit in the sweltering 100-degree heat of earlier today. Central Valley desert heat is no joke.
But then the wind started to pick up. There was a nice little breeze, as there is right now, moving from right to left, pushing out towards the left field wall.
The American flag billowing that way. 0-2, swung on and missed in the dirt, so Handren is retired. Bautista, attack, attack, attack. 5 pitches, 2 of them fouled off with 2 strikes, but all of them landing in the zone, except for that last one, which forces Handren to chase. 1 away, runner on first, bottom of the 3rd inning. Long Beach ahead 5-2 thanks to that first inning 5-run rally. Osiris Johnson batting on the right side here. Bautista crouches low. First pitch curveball causes the former second-round pick of the Marlins to dive out of the way. 1-0 count. Johnson steadies back in that closed-off stance. Tan bat laid on his back, shoulder flat. Next pitch, he swings and pops this one up. Third base side and foul. Catcher Johnny Pappas looking for it in the daylight sky, but that's out of play. 1-1 count for the Oakland man. Johnson jumped up between rookie ball and high A across 6 years, 2018 through 2024, but the Marlins ended up releasing him in August of 24. Throw over to first, Lejewski dives back in safely without a tag. He led off this inning with a full count single up the middle. Max Handren striking out behind him, and now the third batter of the frame, Johnson, waiting impatiently at the plate, waving that tan bat behind his head. Bautista's 1-1. Watches the breaking ball land for a strike high and away. 1-2 count. Bautista settles. From the stretch, swung on and fouled off down the right field line. Prior to the first inning meeting between these two, Bautista had met Johnson once this season, back on June 11th, and he forced a foul pop-up in the first inning of that Coast 8-4 win back in the fourth week of the season. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Fastball in the left-handed batter's box forces Johnson to chase. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nick Bautista. That makes 3 for him on the evening. And it brings up Bryce Cannon, who was the victim of that first K.
That fastball having a little late ride, a little late zip, allowing Osiris Johnson to get a little cross-eyed.
Righty pitching to a lefty now. Anthony Mata perhaps cross-eyed in the sunlight, peeking across his face at short. First pitch lands downstairs to Cannon, 1-0 count. Mata has shifted over behind second base for the left-handed hitter and keeps shielding his eyes with his glove from the sunlight peeking out across the first base side bleachers. 1-0. Backdoor curve lands at the letters for ball 2. Rarely do we see manager Troy Percival move Long Beach's defense around as drastically as this, but second baseman Jacob Jablonski perfectly even between first and second. Mata behind the base. Dylan Lena playing closer to second than normal. The next pitch foul to the top of the back netting. It ricochets back, almost nailing catcher Johnny Pappas in the shoulder. 2-1 count for Cannon after that near miss.
I think he's taken enough baseballs to his body after last night, getting hit by the pitch twice.
That's right. He and Patrick Roche, who is getting a rest today for Long Beach, combined for 5 times being hit by the pitch last night. Pappas took one off the front of his helmet, nearly hitting him in the face unprotected. 2-1, swinging a foul drive to the left side and out of play. Long Beach dropped its second series of the season last weekend on the road up in Marysville against Yuba Sutter. Those two teams flipped home field advantage for the first half of this week, and the Coast took 2 of 3 against the Freebirds, then winning last night 13-4. 2-2. Curveball over the shoelaces for ball 3. 5-2, the LBC leads Modesto in the bottom of the third inning with a runner on first after Jacob Lajewski led off the frame with a single. The next two batters, Max Handren and Osiris Johnson, striking out swinging. Full count as righty pitches to lefty. Open stance at the plate. The pitch, he swings and fouls. Another spiral over the backstop. If you're souvenir hunting, this is the game to attend. We've seen plenty of baseballs find their way into the crowd. Three and 2. Bautista sets for the 7th pitch of the AB. Lajewski stamps on second. Cannon trots off to first. And here comes Kingston Liniak to bat from the right side. 3 for his last 10 against Long Beach this season, dating back to the last week of June. Liniak grounded out to lead off the second inning today. Righty-righty affair. Bautista in his closed-off stance on the first base side of the rubber. Whirls home. Fastball down by the ankles for ball 1. Liniak, who has bounced around indie ball a little bit, was selected by the Detroit Tigers in the 4th round back in 2018. 2 rounds after Osiris Johnson found his way to the Miami Marlins organization. Liniak was drafted out of high school, making it up to single A. Next pitch, he pops it over our heads and into the parking lot. May have clipped the top of the press box, and actually, no, not into the parking lot. It bounced back down into the stands, right into a fan's lap, closer to the first base side. 1-1 count now for Liniak. We lost sight of that one the moment it went up. Got a low awning in front of us. 1-1. Liniak watches the curveball by his eyes. 2-1 count. Liniak had committed to the University of San Diego before the Tigers drafted him, but they offered him $900,000 on the spot, and that's big money to an 18-year-old kid. 2-1. Waits for the breaking pitch by his shoulders. It's a 3-1 count. Talked about his time elsewhere in Major League Baseball partner leagues, indie ball like the Pioneer League. He was in the Frontier League and the Atlantic League with the Windy City Thunderbolts and the Lexington Legends. 3-1. Fastball dribbled off the plate, foul. Full count here for Liniak. Both runners are forced and there are 2 outs, so Lajewski on second and Cannon on first will be running with the pitch. Blue skies around the Central Valley at the moment. Still 88 degrees. Wind billowing out towards left field, shaking the American flag with the LEDs flipped on out beyond the outfield wall, illuminating the shadowed field. There go the runners. Next pitch popped up. Foul ground, third base side, and this is another one for the spectators. That bounces out onto the concourse, and into the relatively cavernous area around that, where fans can enter the ballpark and find leisurely space around while going for concessions. Full count again. Liniak battling. Bautista sets, turns his curly hair towards home. Swing and a dribbler, third base side, and foul. Well, these Modesto batters do not go down easy. This is the second time this inning a batter has fouled off multiple two-strike pitches. Fourth time this inning that a batter has fended off at least one. Fourth batter in a row, that is. Manager Troy Percival takes a rushed visit to the mound to talk with Bautista. He struck out 3 batters, 2 in this inning, but still, how do you find that put-away pitch?
Well, you said it before, attack, attack, attack. It is a strategy that has really worked for a few pitchers for Long Beach this week. We saw Jackson Bird do it a couple of nights ago, just attack with the same pitch, that curveball. That was really tight and worked well in that one inning where he struck out the side.
Percival flies back to the dugout, much like he flew his plane out to Modesto today. And we're not joking about that, he did. 3-2. Swing and another ground ball, this one inside the lines. Lena has it, sidearms to first. Got him! Dylan Lena making the play at third. Cuba Best dropping down to a knee at first to glove it. Modesto threatens but cannot score for the first time today. It's still 5-2 Long Beach. Moving on to the top of the fourth inning. Joey Miller will take you through the next 3 innings on play-by-play with Regulators Baseball returning on the Home Team Network.
Middle 3 here in Modesto, game 1 of 3 to finish out your first half of the Pioneer League 2026 season. Anthony Mata kicks things off against the starter, Jonah Jenkins, who has been phenomenal since giving up 5 runs off the top in the bottom of the first to the Long Beach Regulators. He misses low for ball 1 to kick things off in the fourth. Anthony Mata was a part of that 5-run rally. An RBI double, the final hit of that inning where they batted 9. Next pitch misses in the dirt as well on the fastball, spiked by Jonah Jenkins. The former Yuba Sutter high wheeler, coached by Jerome Williams last year. Now in the other dugout on the third base side. This one on the ground, backhanded by Osiris Johnson. Leisurely throws it on to first for out number 1.
I like the approach the Regulators have shown tonight, attacking the first strikes they see. We talked about it on the mound with Nick Bautista, attack, 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 but the batters have done a lot of first pitch swinging. Remember, there were 4 first pitch hits in that first inning.
For Jenkins, he doesn't necessarily need to attack with just one pitch. He has 6 in his arsenal. The first one of which, a cutter, misses inside. A cutter, sinker, change, 4-seam slider, and a curveball. We've seen that curveball tonight, and it's looked quite nice. There it is. Misses inside. 83 miles per hour. Starts off Johnny Pappas the same way he started off Anthony Mata just one batter ago. A 2-0 count. Now finds the strike zone on the fastball right around the knees. This is Long Beach's second trip to Modesto. They won their last series here. A check swing bunt right back to Jenkins, who underhands it to Cannon at first for out number 2. Back to the top of the lineup we go. Eddie Pelk gets his half day off. The Iron Horse and the Pelk man 1 for 2. Kicking things off with a single. As a matter of fact, this week, Eddie Pelk, in his 4 games played now, has gotten a leadoff hit to start off the first inning in 3 of the past 4 games. He takes strike 1 in his third plate appearance against Jenkins this afternoon. A slow wind from Jenkins. This one parried off to the left side and onto the concourse, third base side. It's an 0-2 count. To the lefty from Huntington Beach, California, just down the coast where we hit the road up from. 0-2 misses outside. Tried to see if Pelk would go fishing. He did not bite. Longest count that Pelk has worked his way into. He's typically either really selective or very patient. That one, a check swing, but it falls below the knees. Harry Owen tried to apply a tag there just in case he did, in fact, go around.
And third base umpire Blake Dempsey chuckled a little bit after he received a chorus of boos for saying that Pelk held his bat in check there.
They did not refer down to Blake Dempsey. But now a 2-2 count. This one just outside the lower outside edge of the zone to the lefty Pelk. He stays alive. Now has a full count, nobody on, 2 outs in the top of the 4th. And the walking man walks again, his 68th of the season. We have to have a counter of some sort. Maybe we'll get, when we get home, we'll get Marty Messer on a special graphic or something on his way to the Pioneer League record, which is 86.
I think the Long Beach director of game presentation, Marty, has a lot on his plate, but we're going to add it to it, or maybe we can actually just help out with that.
Well, you know, we got to take a little off his plate because next week is a very special week for him, of course. His birthday is coming up, so we'll probably do something special on the broadcast for him. There's a swing and a miss for strike 1 to Dylan Lena.
I know Marty is going to have a great time with the Coast these next couple weeks of work, but definitely going to relax hard after that, too.
Throw over to first to check on Pelk with 2 outs. Dylan Lena, 1 for 2 with a single back in the first, came around to score 1 of the 5 runs in that first. Not even the first time that Long Beach has scored 5 in the first inning. They did a couple nights ago, but they ended up taking a loss to the Freebirds in the middle game. Next pitch misses low for ball 1. Losing 3 of the 6 previous games to the Yuba Sutter Freebirds. 3 on the road and 3 at home in total. They lost the series in Yuba Sutter on the holiday weekend just last weekend. Next pitch misses low as well. That time on the curveball. Lena, the Long Beach State Dirtbag, formerly Long Beach State Dirtbag, ahead of the count, now evens it up with a foul ball back to the backstop. It's a pretty deep backstop, pretty similar to Blair Field. We talked about the similarities in terms of the dimensions of both of these fields, both of the new California Pioneer League teams that have been instated this year. 2-2, curveball to the first base dugout. where all of the Modesto Roadsters are on the top ledge of. Count remains the same. Lena was not in the starting lineup. He had a day off yesterday, allowing Patrick Roche to start at third for the first time in a few games. In 4 games, to be precise. But now Patrick Roche has the day off. There's another throw over to first to check on Eddie Pelk. A 2-2 misses low, and now, once again, we have a full count with 2 outs. Eddie Pelk will be off with the pitch. Cannon still holding him on first. Jenkins delivers this one on the ground, and Lejewski gets it to first for the 6-3, finishing out the top of the 4th. We'll send it to the bottom of the very same frame where the Regulators lead 5-2. We'll be right back on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network. Bottom 4, and a stalemate in the past 3 half frames. 5-2, Regulators on top, their 10th game in that fresh moniker that they wear every Friday night. More on the road than they have worn it at home. They've only worn it 3 times at home, but they've won every single time at Blair Field. They're 4-2 on the road in these black Regulators jerseys.
And they'll have plenty of time at home with whopping 30 home games in the second half,
including a 12-game homestand we have coming up starting next week. Be sure to get your tickets at tickets.longbeachcoast.com. Nick Bautista starts off with a ball to Justin Boyd, and then the second pitch popped up in the air to shallow left field. Anthony Mata grabs it for out number 1. Tyler Williams now to the plate. A double, his first time facing off against Nick Bautista. Now, Nick Bautista has a pretty good tie to, or at least a good memory in these Regulators uniforms, as one of his best outings was the very first Regulators night. That first Friday against the Red Pocket Mobiles in early June. Just about a month ago, he gets a swing and a miss on Tyler Williams to get ahead of the count, 0-1. He had 9 strikeouts that night. That's still a season high for any Long Beach starter. This one off the handle into left center. Plenty of hang time for Corona to come over and grab it for out number 2. 4 pitches, 2 outs. Nick Bautista has a chance to put up a second consecutive 0 on the board to the home team, the Modesto Roadsters, which is so weird to say because in the name, they are the Roadsters. Typically, that would infer that they are on the road, and they have been on the road.
They should be more like the Mobiles. They never play at home.
Well, the Mobiles don't have a choice, though. The Modesto Roadsters do. This one fouled back. It's an 0-1 count on Dom Rodriguez, the DH tonight. Grounded out to second base his first time up. Right now, Jablonski is working close up the middle, but still on the outfield edge of the right field grass. Dom Rodriguez takes the next pitch low for ball one. On a curveball there from Bautista. Bautista rocks back and fires the 1-1. This one fouled down the third baseline just to the end of the Long Beach dugout. We're on the third base side now. Typically, at least for all of the initial home games of the first half for the Long Beach Coast, they are in the third base clubhouse, but they are in the first base dugout. That is going to be switched for the second half, as there is a called strike three. A backwards K for Dom Rodriguez, the fourth on the night for Bautista, who works through four, only allowing two in those first two innings, keeping the three-run advantage alive heading into the fifth. You're listening to Long Beach Regulators Baseball on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network. Top of the fifth, some more Regulators at bats. Kicking things off with Cooper Vest, the three spot, followed by Matthew Bardowell and Cuba Bass. Couple of lefties to face the righty on the mound, Jonah Jenkins. Cooper Vest, a walk and a strikeout this afternoon. Vest, a master of getting on base the freeway. Typically the painful way, but right now Patrick Roche is starting to creep up on him. The second Long Beach Coast member to get double-digit hit by pitches. Now with 11 after 3 last night. Jenkins starts him off with a ball and then follows it up with another ball. A little bit lower and outside on that fastball on the second pitch. Nice gradient in the sky as this one sent out into said sky in a dead center field. Williams has it on the run for out number one of this top of the fifth. Matthew Bardowell now to the dish. Nobody on and one out. 5-2 Regulators. Trying to secure their fifth Regulators win on the road. They have lost twice in the Regulators uniforms, both times on the road. No times here at Modesto with the Regulators uniform. This one pasted to the right fielder, and Boyd misjudges that at first, but makes the grab somehow. He was leaning one way and then quickly had to go the other, getting that just off the end of his glove there for an impressive out number two. And now potentially Jonah Jenkins can match what Nick Bautista did, or even better, in the bottom of the fourth. Nick Bautista needing only 8 pitches to escape the bottom of the fourth. He's had 2 straight zeros on the board, just like Jenkins trying to get his third. Now Cuba Best takes the first pitch for a strike. Right at the knees. Colorado on Colorado native matchup. The next pitch misses low and outside, and also former teammates, both in Yuba Sutter last year. Jonah Jenkins got bit by the injury bug early on in the season. This one hit right back up the middle on the second base side into center field for Cuba Best's first hit of the afternoon. Yesterday, Cuba Best had 3 hits following the previous night where he ended an 11-game hit streak. So now he's starting a new one with 2. Journey of 1,000 steps. Starts with a single one.
Was that Confucius?
No, but I'm confused most of the time. Cuba Best, a couple steps off of first. And 2 outs to Jablonski, who takes the first pitch outside for ball 1.
Oh, it was Lao Tzu, not Confucius. I have my Chinese philosophers mixed up.
Curveball bends right into the outside quadrant to the lefty, switch hitting lefty, Jacob Jablonski, now a 1-1 count.
I believe it was Confucius who says long mustaches are probably in right now.
Very possible. This one fouled straight back as Jablonski gets under a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. And now Jenkins a strike away from leaving Best stranded and continuing the 0 trend on the board. Twilight hours here at Modern Woodman Field. Next pitch missing outside for ball 2. Has reached base safely in his past 2 plate appearances. His first 2 plate appearances tonight, a double and a base on balls. Worked his way into a full count before walking, and now he works his way into a full count in his 3rd plate appearance. Jenkins comes set from the stretch. Here's that full count. This one out a good ways towards left center field, but a little bit too high as Liniak has time to come over to his left and make the grab for out number 3. 4 batters faced, 1 left stranded for the Regulators. Still 5-2. Sorry if I sound like a broken record, but we'll send it to the bottom of the 5th here on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network. Bottom of the 5th. And now make it 5 straight zeros of half innings of work. A pitcher's duel between Jonah Jenkins and Nick Bautista. Bautista now back on the mound for his 5th inning of work. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook here. Modern Woodman Field in Modesto, California. The 9 spot, Harry Owen takes strike 1 on the fastball. 0 for 1 tonight on a ground out. That's something that this starting rotation has really been able to trust throughout this entire season, their infield. Next pitch fouled off to the first base side. But really both teams have gone neck and neck in terms of double plays rolled. I have that stat for you in just a second. I think the Coast have 28 and the Roadsters have 26, so right around the same. This one in the air to shallow right field, and Cuba Bess is actually going to call off Jablonski, who was looking it out of the sky. I think Jablonski might have lost it. They're joking around out there on the right side of the infield. But it's still an out nevertheless on the F3. Back to the top of the Roadsters lineup, who still trail by 3, heading into the back end of this first of 3 games this series. Finish out the first half. A breaking ball missing outside and low to Jacob Lejewski. The shortstop of that great tandem between him and Osiris Johnson, who's just a couple batters away. Another breaking ball, but this time it finds the zone to even up the count, add 1 apiece. You know, looking around to the 3 teams that we've seen, I really like this duo that the Modesto Roadsters have defensively. Lejewski and Osiris Johnson can really turn them. As Lena gets a couple hops to the hot corner, gets it across the diamond for out number 2 on the 5-3. And Bautista has a chance at another quick inning here. Trying to determine who is potentially the best middle infield duo. I'm still going to be a homer and say it's got to be Mata and Jablonski.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I don't even think that I'm being a homer in that sense. I think they truly are a perfect combo, as this one's hit down the left field line and heads foul towards the Long Beach clubhouse. For strike 1 to Max Handren, the lefty, the power hitting lefty, who sent out the first run of the game for the Roadsters. They've only scored on solo shots. Nick Bautista giving one up in the first to Handren, and then in the second to Justin Boyd, none since. The 0-1, again fouled, this time over the third base bleachers. It's an 0-2 count. Bautista throwing from the stretch despite nobody on. This one on the ground and up the middle. Handren beats the shift that Jablonski was working closer towards the first base bag of. And the inning persists with a 2-out single, the second hit of the day for Max Handren.
There is action in the Long Beach bullpen. I believe Jake Dixon is loosening up. It's tough to tell because our vision is blocked, but I saw a left hand peek out from around the awning that has most of that area blocked from our point of view.
Well, we're no stranger to blocked views of the bullpen at Blair Field either, but that's just what you get with these older ballparks. This one up the third base line and past Lena. They're going to send Handren around from first to third. He'll score.
I believe the ball got stuck, so he might be headed back now.
No, there's the ball in, and Lena fires into home plate. It is in time for the out. Not sure where that ball went. I think it went into the bullpen. He kind of disappeared out of our sight. Now JT Snow is out of the dugout furious.
As is Troy Percival. I don't know what you call here. I thought the ball got stuck out there.
I think you're
right. The hands
right.
were all up. That should be a double. The first run who scored should not have scored that. He should be on third.
Yeah, the team's walking off the field right now. JT Snow's still giving it to David Harrison and Ricardo Rodriguez. We have yet to witness an ejection this season, at least from our vantage point. I'm not sure how many JT Snow might have, but he is getting his money's worth out of this interaction. Troy Percival's kind of just waiting in the woods with his hands on his hips. The umpires just shaking their head and trying to act calm to the rise of tension from the Roadsters manager. And now Percival's going to give some lip as well.
Well, if I'm Long Beach, I want that to be a dead ball because the run scored. It would be stricken from the record, but you'd still have to work out of a situation with 2 men in scoring position. JT Snow wants to act with 2 men in scoring position, even though doing so would, at least for him temporarily, take a run off the board.
So now the umpires convene. There is nobody on the field currently. All of the defensive men for Long Beach have entered the dugout, convinced that they are right and that the inning should be over. The only person in a jersey is who is that? Number 30? I believe that's the bat boy, the ball boy, yes, just waiting in the woods right now. As the confusion persists here. JT Snow is back out of the dugout to see what the umpires have to say. David Harrison and Ricardo Rodriguez walk over to the home manager, explain a situation to him that I'm sure we will see relayed very soon. We did see that ball hit down the left field line by Osiris Johnson on the first pitch. And now a decision has been made. I'm seeing Modesto coming out defensively, which means that this inning is likely over.
And just to clear that up a little bit, the players put their arms up, but the umpires never certified that the ball was dead, which is why the first run scores. That's why that play continues, even though a Long Beach player putting his hands up should have the play blown dead. The umpires never saw that in time.
I see. So I believe there is a run that scores for sure for the Modesto Roadsters, but then the out is recorded on the throw in. That ends the inning and all of that confusion that hopefully we've cleared up for you. And we'll send it to the 6th, 5-3. Long Beach still on top on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network. Sixth inning, and Long Beach gives up a run for the first time in 3 innings, but they still have a 2-run advantage. It's 5-3 here in Modesto, California. The bottom of the lineup due up: Emilio Corona, Anthony Mata, and Johnny Pappas, after a very confusing ending to the bottom of the 5th that resulted in that run for the Roadsters. There's a called strike to Corona. Let me explain it in detail. Osiris Johnson on the first pitch sent a line drive down the left field line as Corona gets one off the end of his bat into left field for a leadoff single here in the top of the 6th. When it was sent down the line, the left fielder, Matthew Bardowell, put up his hands, indicating that the ball was stuck somewhere, that he could not get to it, but the umpires did not see that. So the play continued. The run scored. Osiris Johnson kept running. He was thrown out at the plate, and that is the final out of the inning. On the putout, it was an RBI triple officially, with a little extra confusion and a little more steps. This one, on the first pitch to Mata, is sent into right field for a base hit, his second of the day. He's now 2 for 3. Back-to-back pitches, back-to-back singles to start off the top of the sixth.
And this combo should put Modesto's defense on steal alert. Five alarms ringing for them because that's number 1 and 2 on the Regulators roster. Corona with 21 steals, Mata with, I believe, 15.
Well, for both of them to secure an official stolen base, they both have to steal at the same time, unless the lead runner wants to head towards third. This one onto the first base concourse, bouncing around.
Pappas trying the forceful bunt there.
It's an 0-1 count. And Pappas is one of the more prolific bunters. We've seen some fantastic push bunts that have led to some late rallies, including last week.
And he's doing so here because the first baseman, Bryce Cannon, is playing back behind Anthony Mata leading off of first. So Johnny has a long way to work with to try and get the slow roll on the first base side.
Jenkins. This one is bunted up the first base line. Jenkins gets it to first for the sacrifice, advancing Corona and Mata into scoring position. With a 2-run game, you can never be too careful, and Eddie Pelk is going to try and cash in these 2 runs with 1 out.
I'm still shocked at that defensive alignment for Modesto. Usually in a situation like that, if you know that the runner on first has a roadblock in front of him, first baseman should be on the infield grass waiting for a possible bunt like that.
Well executed by the mustachioed catcher from Chino Hills. Now this one hit into shallow left field. That will score 2. A 2-run single for Eddie Pelk. Punches across the 6th and 7th runs of the game for the Long Beach Regulators, who now lead 7-3. Second hit of the day for Eddie Pelk as well, as it brings up Dylan Lena. A little Seinfeld reference in the crowd, Mike, that you might hear, and I know we got a big Seinfeld fan here.
Yeah, the classic Seinfeld bass line playing in the distance, which makes me think of I'm Keith Hernandez, given that we're at a baseball field.
Well, you need to grow a better mustache then. There's a called strike 1.
To be Keith Hernandez, sure, but if I wanted to be on Seinfeld, the one episode where they try to grow mustaches, they look a lot like mine. Awful.
No better than mine. There's a throw back to first. Pop tag to check on Pelk. It's an 0-1 count to Dylan Lena. And actually, referring to your Seinfeld reference last night, our good friend Todd Cunin was tuned in, and he really liked your Seinfeld reference from last night. This one in the air to center field. I'll clarify in just a second, as that's caught for out number 2.
I don't remember what I said.
Because you were trying to say something to me, I believe, that my eyes just kind of glazed over, and I didn't really fully get it. Let me pull up this text message because
I'm thinking back. I know I made a Seinfeld reference on the broadcast and then joked about you not watching, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, was that wrong? Should I not have done that?
Yes. Another throw to check on Eddie Pelk. And Cooper Vest now to the plate for his 4th plate appearance of this afternoon. He's 0 for 2 with a walk back in the first. And Todd Cunin, of course, says, don't touch the cleaning lady during work hours. There's a swing and a miss. I'm not sure what that means.
Look, if anybody had told me that sort of thing was frowned upon, get out.
Yeah.
That's a great episode. It was Kashmir.
I'll have to watch that at some point. Cooper Vest, his bat outstretched. The lefty takes a breaking ball outside. Now a 1-1 count.
And I can tell you that JT Snow is, in fact, a close talker, much in the Seinfeld realm, because we saw him get right up in the umpires' faces.
Jenkins nods at his battery mate Owen. Cooper Vest pieces something backwards over the net for strike 2. 2 outs and a runner at first. That runner Eddie Pelk, who just cashed in a couple more runs for a new 4-run lead for the Long Beach Regulators. Their first 4-run lead since, well, the first inning. Or rather, in the top of the second, I should say. This one hit the other way to left field. Liniak tracing back. He'll make the grab over his shoulder on the run for out number 3, a very impressive out number 3. That leaves Pelk stranded, 4 straight innings with a runner stranded for the Long Beach Regulators. But they score for the first time in 4 innings. Actually, make that 5 innings. Nick Bautista will take the mound when we come back in the bottom of the 6th. Stay tuned, it's 7-3 here on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network.
Hey, everybody. Bottom of the 6th now. Joey Miller, Jesse Cook. Night is now fallen here in Modesto, California. Things cooling off from the 100-degree high that we saw here when we arrived in Modesto for game 1 of 3. We'll be here all weekend, giving you the action from the booth here at Modern Woodman Field. And the first pitch misses outside for ball 1 to the lefty Bryce Cannon. He was in the on-deck circle when all of the craziness ensued in the previous inning. A foul ball to the third base side evens it up at 1 apiece, that being Osiris Johnson with the RBI triple and the put out at home. But ideally it would have been a ground rule double had the umpires seen the hand signal from the left fielder, Matthew Bardowell, which caused a long pause in the action. Next pitch misses outside for ball 2. But it still benefits Osiris Johnson. He gets a triple, the 13th of the season for the Roadsters, and gets an RBI in the process. Next pitch hits outside, and it's going to be challenged by Bryce Cannon. This is the second challenge attempt. The first was successful, and I think he's going to like the call in this one as well. It is overturned to a ball. Now a 3-1 count as Modesto goes 2 for 2. The Long Beach Regulators are 0 for 1 on the other side of things. 7-3 is the score here after Long Beach pokes across a couple more in the top part of this 6th inning on the Eddie Pelk 2-run single. There's a hard swing and a miss at the 90-mile-per-hour fastball to get it to a full count. Nick Bautista working deep into this game. His season high is getting through 6 innings as he walks the first batter of said 6th inning. Misses high. That is his 2nd walk issued on the night.
Bautista has a habit for trying to make batters chase on those 2-strike counts. He's worked his way to 4 Ks so far today, but a lot of them, all 3 of the swinging strikeouts have been on pitches that dipped or rose out of the zone.
Now Kingston Liniak, a righty-on-righty affair. He'll take strike 1 on the fastball. Past couple of innings for the Roadsters, they left the bases with nobody on. They attempted something in those second and third innings. Now Dylan Lena on the ground to second, to Jablonski, to first, not in time for the second out. But it's going to be a fielder's choice, 5-4 the way it goes. Gets an out in the process. Kingston Liniak now aboard for Justin Boyd, who hammered his home run to left field back in the second off of Bautista. Since then, 0 for 1. On a pop fly to Anthony Mata back in the fourth. That very quick 8-pitch fourth. First pitch to the righty Boyd, misses low and outside for ball 1. And Justin Boyd got his first home run of the season at Blair Field in the second week of the first homestand, the inaugural homestand, just a month ago. Next pitch misses low for ball 2. 2-0 count on the right fielder for the Roadsters. Boyd takes another one, but this time it hits the zone right at the knees for strike 1 on the dead set 4-seam fastball. Justin Boyd out of Parker, Colorado. This one off his handle softly to Jablonski, who catches it around the shoelaces, or doesn't. Scoops it out of the dirt and gets the lead out. On a very smart play there.
I think they signaled that in a catch because Kingston Liniak is still on first base.
You are right. Though a little bit confusing in the process, an out is still recorded. So that's just going to be an F4. Tyler Williams takes the first pitch low for ball 1, now with 2 outs and a runner at first. Couldn't necessarily see any dirt kick up.
Well, Jablonski laid his glove flat on the ground, and the ball hit the webbing where it would have hit the dirt.
So maybe just as a precaution, he got it to second. Next pitch misses low.
You remember that Tyreek Hill would-be touchdown where he caught the ball and didn't realize that he had, and nobody noticed a few years ago, and it ended up being a dead play even though it should have been a touchdown? That's how that felt.
The third pitch fired into the strike zone on the outer part of the plate for strike 1. Yes, I do remember that. That was where there was like an end zone within an end zone, right?
Yes, and he wound up catching the ball against his helmet and thought he had dropped it, so nobody protested.
2-1 over the head of Jablonski, though he did show the bunnies. Going first to third is Liniak. The throw to third is over the head of Dylan Lena, and Nick Bautista slipped in the process trying to back him up. And in that confusion, that allows Tyler Williams to advance to second.
I believe it was Cooper Vest making that throw. He has only enjoyed a few stints in the outfield this season. That's where he played in college at BYU. So maybe the arm needs a little oiling before he makes those big, long throws. That was college Cooper Vest in the deep caverns of the BYU baseball field underneath the mountains, throwing from the right field corner, not Vest throwing from the shallow right field area here in Modesto.
This is his third game in the outfield this season for Long Beach.
Third start in the outfield. He has filled in relief.
You are correct.
A couple times.
But it's his first start in the outfield in 14 games. That I can say definitively. They are going to, yes, give him a single and an error, as is proper, but they gave the error to the center fielder. So we'll go with it. I saw on the scoreboard they called it a double, too. Now this pitch gets under Johnny Pappas and scores a run for the Roadsters. We'll see how they score that. I believe that might be a pass ball. On a wild pitch. for an unearned run. So now a runner at third, that being Tyler Williams, who advances to third. And Dom Rodriguez takes a called strike for now a 1-1 count. 2 outs, runner at third, a run plates for the Roadsters, who still trail by 3. It's 7-4 in the bottom of the 6th. Next pitch fouled to the top of the home plate net. Far shorter than the one at Blair Field, which goes all the way up to a vantage point where we can't even almost see where the top of that net is.
I would say it's about 50 feet tall, I've been told.
The 1-2. This one sent the other way into right field. That'll head towards the wall. Cashes in a run. Heading towards second. Dom Rodriguez slides in head first with the RBI double. That double gets the Roadsters within 2. 7-5, and now Percy points towards the pen. We'll see a new arm for the first time for the Regulators when we come back on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network. Back into the bottom of the 6th, only 1 out to go. Nick Bautista got the first 2, but then got into a little bit of danger. The first bullpen arm of this series for Long Beach is Jake Dixon. Percival goes to his left-hander with affiliate experience, who fires a first pitch strike on a fastball to the 9 spot, Harry Owen. Runner at second is Dom Rodriguez, recently just getting the RBI double to get the Roadsters within 2. It is 7-5 in this bottom of the 6th. Next pitch slides inside on the righty for a 1-1 count. Interesting choice here to go lefty on righty for the next 2 batters, hoping that your relief arm at least gets the third out in the next 1 or 2 batters. But there are a couple of lefties coming up as well. This one clubbed into shallow center. Corona calls off everybody and makes the grab, avoiding collision for out number 3. That leaves a runner stranded. But to plate for the Roadsters, who have scored in back-to-back innings, trying to make a late comeback. And now the final 3 innings due up. Jesse Cook will be on the call for you to finish out this game, and there will be a new arm on the mound for the Roadsters. Stay tuned on the Coast Media Network and Home Team Network.
Back at it in Modesto, California with a 7-5 lead for the visiting Long Beach Regulators here on Friday night, taking on the Roadsters, who have a new pitcher in the game making his professional debut, right-hander Dawson Goins. He's dealing to Matthew Bardowell, Cuba Bess, and Jacob Jablonski, 4, 5, and 6 in the LBC order. First pitch in the righty-righty affair forces a swing and miss, high and inside, 0-1 count. Goins relieves Jonah Jenkins after 6 innings of work, allowing 7 runs on 9 hits with 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. Goins kicks up high. Fastball called a strike at the belt, 0-2 count. Goins pitched at Henderson State University out in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. He sets in for the 0-2. That's helmet high. 1-2 for Bardowell, who walks in 0 for 2 today, but he fired off a sacrifice fly in the first inning. That brought home Long Beach's first run. Big 5-run barrage in that opening frame. 1-2. Curveball misses downstairs and away for a 2-2 count. Goins saddles up, 22 years old. Out of Arkansas for his home state as well. Bardowell fouls off the next pitch to the right side and out of play. Goins calls Benton, Arkansas home. Bardowell from Fontana down in SoCal. Ready's at the back of the box in a lightly open stance. 2-2 again. That misses up high by the letters. 2-2 count. Henderson State is a Division II college. He spent all 4 collegiate seasons playing out there. Next pitch. The 3-2 is called a strike, high and away. Bardowell started walking off towards first, but home plate umpire David Harrison brings him back. 1 away to lead off the top of the 7th inning. Cuba Bess taking a turn now. He's 1 for 3, singling last time up. So welcome to professional baseball. Dawson Goins strikes out his first batter. And not a bad opponent to do it against. 6'4", Matthew Bardowell is an imposing sight with his 9 home runs. First pitch to Bess. He swings and turns his number 9 on the back of his jersey back towards us in the press box. 0-1 count. He kicks high and Bess pops that one up. Foul over the back netting. Landing on top of the press box and rolling down into the crowd. 0-2 count as a swarm of fans crowd in front of us looking for that baseball.
Yeah, that came mighty close.
0-2. Outside and low. 1-2 count here. Modesto has been the toughest opponent for Long Beach this season out of the 4 teams that the Coast, or tonight rebranding as the Regulators, have matched up against, with Oakland, the Mobiles, and Yuba Sutter. Next pitch, a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts to open up the professional career of Dawson Goins. Regardless of the outcome of this game, there is a very inspiring positive that anyone can enjoy. A rookie shining in his debut. Now he faces Jacob Jablonski. This is another tough one. 1 for 2 in this game with an RBI double in the first inning. Jablonski leading the team in 2-baggers like we talked about earlier. First pitch to the switch hitter, the lefty, swings and misses at the fastball, low and away. Jablonski with 17 doubles this season. But Modesto taking 3 of the first 9 games against Long Beach so far this season. Next pitch, a swing and a miss. And believe it or not, like we talked about on our Beach Ball pregame report, that is the best winning percentage against the LBC this season, .333. Oakland is next with a 25% winning line. Actually, Yuba Sutter might be in the way as well. Let me do some quick math. Yuba Sutter actually at 28% win rate. 0-2. High and outside for ball 1. We know the Red Pocket Mobiles are last in that group because Long Beach swept the Mob back in the first homestand of the season, week 3 in total.
And we'll see them in just a couple weeks back at Blair Field.
1-2, misses low and outside for a 2-2 count. That's right. The Oakland Ballers come to town Tuesday through Thursday, followed by Yuba Sutter, then a break on Monday, then Oakland again, and then the Mobiles rounding out that 12-game homestand. 2-2. Swung on and dribbled behind the mound to short, charging Lejewski. His throw to first is just barely on time. Long Beach retired 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. We move on to stretch time with the top of the order due up for the Roadsters when we return with Coast Baseball, Regulators Baseball tonight on the Home Team Network. After stretch time, here come the Modesto Roadsters trying to erase the lead that the LBC has built. Long Beach ahead 7-5. Jake Dixon back out there, the left-hander facing the top of the Modesto order. Jacob Lejewski, Max Handren, and Osiris Johnson. Jesse Cook with you next to Joey Miller. Dixon's first pitch, a sinker at the knees for strike 1. Dixon relieved starter Nick Bautista and retired the lone batter he faced in the 6th inning. Bautista dealing 105 pitches across 5 2/3 innings. Next pitch swung on and popped foul to the right side and out of play. Both starting arms in this game. Jumping up to triple digits, Jonah Jenkins went up to 102 tosses for Modesto. Bautista currently in line for his 4th win of the season if the bullpen holds on. Dixon, tan glove at his belt, whirls home, swing and a miss, high and inside, and Lejewski is retired on 3 pitches to begin the bottom of the 7th inning. Long Beach ahead, 7-5. The Coast rebranding as the Regulators tonight, and Dixon doing exactly that, regulating Modesto, retiring the only 2 batters he's seen.
And we can finally say that one of the promotions that we got coming up just next Saturday, we're going to get Warren G back to Blair Field, so be sure to get your tickets.
That's right. Back in Long Beach during that 12-game homestand. Lefty pitches to lefty. Max Handren watches the slider for a strike at the belt. For that first Regulators night at home, Warren G jumped up into the broadcast booth with us, and that was a lot of fun. Can't wait to see him back at Blair Field when the team returns home. 0-1. Just misses downstairs on the slider. 1-1 count. Handren has been a pest so far, 2 for 3. He jump-started Modesto early on in this game with the first hit, a home run to dead center. The 1-1. Misses high and outside. That one into the right-handed batter's box. We filmed some content back at home that will air during our Sunday broadcast, learning to pitch submarine style with Steven Ordorica, and there were a few of my tries that would have decapitated a couple hitters like that pitch. Next one swung on and fouled to the left side and out of play. Dixon, not necessarily a submarine arm. He's closer to being sidearm, somewhere between sidearm and 3/4. That's where his release point lands. But the right-handed submarine pitcher, Steven Ordorica, well, he is almost touching the ground. Next pitch, fouled to the right side on deck area. Still a 2-2 count for Handren. Bases empty, 1 away, bottom 7. Make sure you keep up to date with all of our content on the Long Beach Coast YouTube and social media as well, at LB Coast on at LB Coast Baseball on Instagram, at Long Beach Coast everywhere else. Next pitch, punch down the left field line, hugs the chalk, but it's determined foul by third base umpire Blake Dempsey.
Pretty close to the catcher in the bullpen there. That's David Whittle.
And there is action for Whittle to help facilitate out there, a right-hander warming up. Although our view is so obstructed, you could tell us it was anyone. You could tell us it was John Smoltz out there, and we'd have no choice but to believe you.
I'm shocked that you even know it's a right-hander.
Well, if it were a lefty, we'd actually see his hand pop up over the awning. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Handren retired by way of the K, and this left-hander is getting the job done with back-to-back strikeouts to open up the bottom of the 7th inning. Jake Dixon winding and firing. And there's only one left-handed choice in the bullpen, Matthew O'Brien, who last time out on the bump he started.
Can't forget about Jackson Bird either.
That is correct. I think of him as a hitter a lot of the time. The first pitch to Osiris Johnson. Ground ball past the diving reach of Anthony Mata at short off his mitten to center field. Johnson, who tripled last time up in a bout of confusion that we'll reflect on in just a moment, knocks that hit up the middle. There were 2 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Max Handren was on first. Johnson hit the ball into the corner. Matthew Bardwell, the left fielder, put his arms up to signify that the ball was under the bullpen bench and that should have been dead. The umpires didn't see it, so Johnson tried to score, and Bardwell finally recovered and tossed the ball home, but not before Modesto scored in the form of Max Handren. Bryce Cannon on the left side. First pitch, sinker for a strike at the thighs. Oh, and 1 count. Cannon 0 for 1, striking out to end the first inning, but walking twice after that. Dixon throws over to first. No action there. Cannon, in both of those free passes, worked a full count. Dixon again. Winds in for a strike on the 87-mile-per-hour sinker. 0-2 count. There's action in both bullpens that we're trying to keep an eye on. So Modesto will very likely have a replacement for the rookie Dawson Goins in the 8th inning. Dixon's next pitch, the 0-2, misses low and outside. 7-5, Long Beachers score. Bottom of the 7th inning. 2 away with a runner on first for Modesto, and a 1-2 count in the battle of the Southpaws. Right-handers warming up in both bullpens. We're trying to figure out just who those mystery men may be before they head out there and take the bump. 1-2. Front door slider falls for strike 3, but it is immediately challenged by Cannon. Home plate umpire David Harrison setting up the signal to the press box. And it is a successful challenge, overturning the strike 3 call to ball 2. The Long Beach defense had mostly run off the field. Blake Smith, the right-hander, warming up for Modesto. We've spotted that. He could be on the bump to start out the next half inning, the top of the 8th. Here in the bottom of the 7th, Dixon is asked to fire off strike 3 again. He retired the first 2 batters by way of the K before allowing the Johnson single. Here he goes. Swung on, pelted high down the left field line. Matthew Bardwell chasing into the corner, and he finds that one on the lip of the warning track for out number 3. We move on to the top of the 8th inning. 7-5 Long Beachers score with 7, 8, and 9 due up, and Corona, Mata, and Pappas in the top of the 8th inning when we come back with Regulators Baseball on the Home Team Network. Rolling into the top of the 8th inning underneath pitch black skies, matching the jerseys that the Long Beach Regulators wear on this Friday night, leading 7-5 and coming up to the plate in the top of the 8th inning. Emilio Corona, Anthony Mata, and Johnny Pappas, 7, 8, and 9 due up against the new Modesto pitcher, the right-hander Blake Smith. Righty-righty affair with 2 for 3. Corona, first pitch, a curveball that lands for a strike low and away. Smith relieves the rookie Dawson Goins, who makes his professional debut, retiring the side with 2 strikeouts in the top of the 7th. The 0-1 sidearm forces a swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Smith making his 4th appearance of the season for Modesto, signed before the Oakland home and home series last week. And he's allowed 3 runs across his 3 innings of work over those 3 appearances, allowing 6 hits, only recording 1 strikeout. All 3 of those runs arrived on Sunday in his July 5th performance. 0-2, Corona checks a swing at the high inside slider for a 1-2 count. On Wednesday, Smith went back out there against the Bees and dealt a one-hit shutout, one-inning appearance in the Modesto win. 1-2. Front door slider, and again, that falls for a strike as Corona swings and misses.
Coming to the plate, number 2,
Anthony Mata takes a turn here with the bases empty and one away in the top of the 8th inning. His side boasting a 2-run lead. The right-hander comes set. Mata laying the two-piece bat on his back shoulder. First pitch, a fastball at 90 miles per hour for strike one. High leg kick. Fastball misses low and inside, 1-1 count. Anthony Mata, much like Emilio Corona, entered this inning 2 for 3. Mata doubling home a run to end that 5-run first inning rally that set the Coast Regulators tonight up so well. 1-1. Slider misses inside and low. It's a 2-1 count. Last time up, Mata also knocked one through to the outfield. That played a crucial role in building the current lead because Modesto scored its 5th run in that 6th inning, which would have tied the game if not for Mata boarding and scoring in the 6th, top half. Here's a slider for a strike at the knees. Long Beach scored those 5 runs in the 1st and then 2 in the 6th. And that's it for the LBC in this game. Wearing an auburn mustache on the mound, Smith comes set with his brown hair curling out from underneath the baby blue Modesto Roadsters hat. 2-2. Slider swerves low and away. Mata checks his swing. They defer down to the first base umpire, the crew chief Ricardo Rodriguez, who confirms that Mata held his bat up. Full count now for the Long Beach shortstop. Smith from the stretch. Fastball buckles Mata at the knees, watching strike 3 go by. Back-to-back Ks to open up this relief appearance for Blake Smith. Now Johnny Pappas gets a turn. This is the first team not named the Oakland Ballers that Blake Smith has faced in the Pioneer League this year. All 3 of his appearances occurring over the last week, debuting a week ago today. Righty-righty affair with Johnny Pappas. He's 0 for 2. First pitch, fastball by the knees for a strike on the inner half. 89 miles per hour there under the heater. Oh, 1. Fastball right down the middle for a strike. With a chance to head to the bottom of the 8th inning, keeping the Long Beach lead where it is. Smith fires and misses down and away on the slider.
Quite a string of the past 2 arms out of the Modesto pen.
1-2. Pappas bounces that one out to short. Charging Lejewski, throws over to first for out number 3. And you're right, Joey. This Modesto bullpen goes 6 up, 6 down across the 7th and 8th. We move on to the bottom of the 8th inning. Kingston Liniak, Justin Boyd, and Tyler Williams due up for the hometown crew when we return with Regulators Baseball on the Home Team Network. Back at it in Modesto for the bottom of the 8th inning. Long Beach ahead 7-5. Modesto at the plate. Still Jake Dixon pitching for the LBC. The left-hander facing Kingston Liniak, Justin Boyd, and Tyler Williams, 5, 6, and 7 in the Roadsters order. Dixon kicks up high. The righty swings, tails that one to straightaway right field, but right at Cooper Vest, who makes the catch, tracking towards the foul line. One pitch, one out in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jake Dixon in his 3rd inning of relief. Justin Boyd takes a turn here. He went deep in the 2nd inning for the 2nd hit and the 2nd run of the ball game for the hometown crew. But after that, he has yet to leave the infield. A pop out to short and a pop out to 2nd. Lefty pitching to righty again. Dixon kicks up high. Sinker at the belt for a strike. Dixon turning his gold cleats on the rubber, fires and misses high and outside. 1-1 count. Friday night baseball opening up the road series here in Central Valley. Long Beach, SoCal, the other Yuba Sutter, Oakland teams, NorCal, Central Valley here. Next pitch bounced foul to the left side. 1-2 count. Checking in on the race for first place. While Long Beach holds a lead over the Billings Mustangs, right now it is 0 because the Mustangs won earlier today. Should the Regulators pull away with this victory, it'll jump back to where it was earlier today at a half game. 1-2. Sinker misses at the letters, 2-2 count. There are 2 more contests after tonight in the first half, with the Billings Mustangs winning in Idaho Falls 13-7 earlier today. That tightrope walk for the LBC grows to a hairline. 2-2. Swinging a dribbler, third base side, Dylan Lena charging from the hot corner. He sidearms to first on the money. That was a tight play. His black Regulators cap popping off his head, that hair reaching down to the small of his back, bouncing as he bobs back to pick it up. Long Beach, in its inaugural season, clinched its first ever playoff berth on Tuesday in the home win over the Yuba Sutter Freebirds, but first place in the first half standings still ensures home field advantage. Now Tyler Williams at the plate. First pitch, he pops it foul to the right side and out of play. Williams, a right-handed batter.
And we still have the odd situation as we head down into the final couple games of this weekend between us and the Billings Mustangs for who will get that first place spot, because the Billings Mustangs potentially lost a game in late June.
0-1, swing and a miss over the slider.
That being in Montana, Missoula specifically, a rainout that they have yet to determine if they want to make it up or not. And I have a feeling they're waiting to see how the Long Beach Coast do before they determine if they want to bang that game or reschedule it.
Next pitch misses high and outside, 1-2 count. Billings has definitely made the Regulators sweat with 3 consecutive wins. Both teams are playoff bound, having clinched this week, but the battle for first place just keeps going. 1-2. Inside over the shoelaces, it's a 2-2 count. Now, the second half starts on Tuesday. If you win the second half, just like the first half, you make the playoffs, but every now and then there's some overlap. Should Long Beach or Billings wind up as a top 2 team at that point, and then you default from the half record to the overall record. This pitch bounced out to second. Jacob Jablonski on a knee has it. Sidearms to first for the out. That's what the Modesto Roadsters are playing for. They're 4th in the Pioneer League at the moment. The overall standings still matter to them as they try to win this game, but that's out number 3. We move on to the 9th with the top of the order due up for Long Beach with Coast Baseball. Regulators Baseball tonight, returning on the Home Team Network. Top of the ninth inning, and Modesto on the way. Long Beach leading Modesto 7-5. New arm out there for the Roadsters. Johan Castillo, a lefty, facing the top of the order. Lefty Eddie Pelk. First pitch, curveball, misses low and away. 1-0 count. Castillo, the third reliever for the hometown crew. The last two come with perfect frames. Next pitch, swung on, popped down the left field line, charging in Liniak. He chases, he reaches, he makes the catch on the corner of the warning track. Eddie Pelk almost spiraled his way into a hit there, but Liniak moved quickly. That brings up Dylan Lino, one away, top of the ninth inning. That's 9 straight retired by this Modesto crew. The first two, the starter Jonah Jenkins getting rid of him, but then the rookie Dawson Goins making his professional debut with a 1-2-3 7th. Blake Smith, same in the 8th. Dylan Lina swipes and misses at the first pitch. The right-handed batter trying to work through his 1-for-4 game up to a 2-for-5. 0-1 count against Johan Castillo. This is his second season in the Pioneer League. Last year playing for the Colorado Springs Sky Sox. 0-1. Curveball misses downstairs, 1-1 count. Castillo spent parts of 2 seasons in the Frontier League with the Evansville Otters. 1-1 from the windup. Swing and a miss. Fastball high and away, 1-2 count. Castillo walks into this game with a 4.17 earned run average. Working in his 18th appearance, all as a reliever. Next pitch, swing and a miss. Lina goes down on strikes, and that's 10 straight from this Modesto bullpen. There is action in the Long Beach bullpen, the on-field bump down the left field line. We're unsure who it is, but I think we can both imagine that it might be Zach Volker, the league leader in saves with 8, preparing for a chance to protect the current 2-run lead in the bottom of the ninth inning. Cooper Vest bends in on the left side against the southpaw. First pitch, fastball at the belt for a strike. 0-1 count. Vest 0-for-3 in this game, walking in the first and striking out in the second. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2 count. Castillo trying to rebound after allowing a run on 2 hits against Oakland back on Tuesday in his most recent appearance. He kicks high. Vest swings and misses. Long Beach goes down 1-2-3 in each of the 7th, 8th, and 9th innings, but the rallies at the beginning might be enough to carry them to victory. We'll be back to find out in the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-9-1 due up for the Roadsters and Rodriguez, Owen, and Lejewski with Regulators baseball returning on the Home Team Network. It's just about that time in Modesto. The Long Beach Regulators are 3 outs from victory, leading 7-5. Now heading into the bottom of the 9th inning with the closer, the league leader in saves, Zach Volker, heading out to the bump. The right-hander facing 8-9-1 in the Roadsters order. Dom Rodriguez, Harry Owen, and Jacob Lejewski. Righty-righty affair. First pitch, a fastball at the knees for a strike. Volker needs a get-back game. Last time he pitched, he blew the save against the Yuba Sutter Freebirds in Wednesday's loss, the lone loss of that series in the first half of this week. And that last pitch has been challenged by Modesto. And the Roadsters are unsuccessful on that appeal. The call is confirmed for a strike. Volker, tan glove at the belt. Wheels home. Swinging a high fly ball, right center field straight away, heading for Cooper Vest down the line, and he makes the catch. One away in the bottom of the ninth inning. Well, we were talking earlier about how efficient the Modesto bullpen worked today. All three pitchers retired the side for the Roadsters in the professional debut of Dawson Goins, Blake Smith behind him, and Johan Castillo in the top half of this inning. Well, the Long Beach bullpen, with Jake Dixon throwing the last 2 1/3 innings, has retired 5 straight Roadsters batters.
And it's interesting, too, because everybody we've talked to coming into the stadium said the bullpen was the problem.
Pinch hitter Logan Sutter at the plate for Modesto. First pitch to the righty. He watches a curveball downstairs and away for ball 1. Volker facing the new batter, winds up and deals. Fastball shoulder high for a 2-0 count. Sutter batting just 162 to this point on the season, making his 13th appearance in a game. 6 for 37 on the season. The 2-0 checks his swing at the breaker. That's a strike at the thighs. 2-1 count. Sutter has had the unfortunate distinction of 15 strikeouts over his 37 at-bats. 2-1. Swings inside out and misses wholeheartedly underneath the fastball high and inside. 2-2. Waiting on deck is the top of the order, Jacob Lejewski. He's 1 for 4. Volker crouches, deals. Fastball helmet high. (7-5) Long Beach, 1 away, bases empty, bottom 9. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Volker retires Sutter by way of the K, and the Roadsters on this Friday night are down to their final out, but they head to the leadoff man to keep themselves alive. Jacob Lejewski entered this game batting .330. First pitch lands for a strike at 96 miles per hour, but is immediately challenged by Lejewski. And the Roadsters are going to be very spiteful about this one, as they are now 0 for 2 on challenges in this inning. That strike call confirmed. There are no challenges remaining for the Roadsters, although with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning, it's not like they have a whole lot of time for them.
Now's the time to burn them.
7-5. Regulators, your score on this Friday night to open the series. 0-1. Curveball misses low and outside. 1-1 count. Volker trying for his league best 9th save on the year. Base is empty. 2 away. Righty-righty affair. Bottom 9. Lejewski in an open stance at the back of the righty box, waving the black bat over his back shoulder. Next pitch, swing and a miss. 1-2 count. Long Beach a strike away from victory to open up the final series of the first half. Volker stares home, takes a heavy breath. Sways and fires. Swing and a miss. No, foul tipped. Lejewski barely making contact with that baseball to keep this game afloat. Things rolled into action at 7:14 p.m. Pacific time. Now here we are at 9:52. Volker bobs his bearded face, nods that black Regulators cap, whirls into motion, swung on, laced out over the second baseman Jablonski into right field. And as if divine intervention played a role, there was a firework that exploded somewhere a couple miles away beyond the right field wall right as that pitch came in. And the Roadsters' life blooms down to the final strike.
Well, I know this home crowd really wants a positive ending because they are getting fireworks after this game. It is Fireworks Friday here at Modern Woodman Field.
Max Handren already provided a firework in the first inning with a home run to give Modesto its first run of the game. Here he is on the left side. Volker's first pitch, a fastball that misses high and away. On Wednesday, the Freebirds tied the game in the ninth inning with 1 out, but then with 2 outs and 2 strikes in that tied contest, took the lead on a 2-run Devin Dixon triple. Volker, again for Long Beach, misses downstairs and away, trying to rebound after the blown save. Modesto has not made things easy for Long Beach pitching in this game. Piling on 10 hits. Volker kicks high. Fastball over the shoelaces. 3-0 count. And the go-ahead run is waiting on deck in Osiris Johnson. He can power the baseball for sure. He's bashed 11 home runs this season. Handren representing the tying run at the plate. A runner on first, 2 away, bottom 9. 7-5 Long Beach. From the stretch. Fastball at the letters. That call has been challenged by the Regulators. Long Beach has 1 correct appeal to spare, and they're correct. So they keep their last challenge. That is a 3-1 count now after Volker's heater at 95 miles per hour is overturned from a ball to a strike. Volker pitching in the middle of the rubber, leans and deals. This one swung on and battered to deep left center field. That's in the gap, rolling to the wall. Matthew Bartowell picks it up off the fence. Lejewski's around third, making his way on home. Relay to shortstop Anthony Mata. He hangs on, and the Roadsters are down by a run on the RBI double from Max Handren. 2 away, bottom of the 9th inning. And Modesto keeps this game afloat. Well, it's not allowed to be easy, is it? Manager Troy Percival knows that well. He takes a trip out to the mound. There is action in the Regulators' bullpen. Not sure who's warming up out there. There's a pinch runner entering the game for Modesto. Michael Mugin entering the game to run in place of Max Handren. There are no extra innings in the Pioneer League. There is a home run derby, so it doesn't matter who's on the base path, where they are in relation to the field. All that Modesto manager JT Snow is looking for is speed. Michael Mugin this season is 5 for 6 on stolen base attempts. He's in scoring position already. Osiris Johnson waits for the pitch from Zach Volker, who remains in the game. Righty-righty affair, 2 out, bottom of the 9th inning, 7-6 Long Beach. Modesto with the tying run on second. First one out of the stretch. Fastball called a strike, low and away. Johnson raises his hand to challenge, but they already burned their 2 appeals this inning. So that is a strike regardless of what the ABS TrackMan system says, although that would have been confirmed a strike. Checking the computer screen up here in the press box. 0-1 count. Volker fresh off of his conversation with the manager, Troy Percival. He whirls, swing and a miss. Maybe the words from the Angels' all-time saves leader, Percival, did him some good. Once again, Long Beach is 1 strike away from victory. For the 3rd time this inning, Modesto down to its last strike, trying to battle back. Johnson calls time at home plate. Home plate umpire David Harrison grants it. Volker resets on the bump, waiting for Johnson to reset in the box. Volker crouches, now drops that glove to his belt. Runner on second, 2 away, bottom 9, 7-6 Long Beach. 0-2 count. Volker kicks up high, swung on and fouled off to the right side. Modesto stays alive. Long Beach needs to sweep this series if it wants to tie the Oakland Ballers' first half record for wins at 37. The Coast, currently tied for first place with the Billings Mustangs, will jump to a half-game lead if they cling to victory. First game of the last series of the first half. Volker tilts back, the 0-2 again. This one pasted into right field on the ground. Green light at third. Here comes Mugen. That's the throw back to the infield, and it's offline. This game is tied. Three times in this bottom of the ninth inning, the Roadsters have been down to their final strike. 3 times they have prevailed. Lejewski keeping himself afloat with a hit on 2 strikes. Johnson goes down to 2 strikes, fouls off a pitch, and then the next one he sees. He lifts into the outfield for the game-tying knock at 7-7. Bryce Cannon at the plate. First pitch, a curveball in the dirt, bounces away from Johnny Pappas, and there's no throw to second as Johnson jumps to the Keystone base. And I believe they might be intentionally walking Bryce Cannon here. Force out at any base, the winning run is in scoring position already. And that is the case. Cannon walks off to first, so here comes Kingston Liniak.
I'm looking back right now at one particular pitch. Jacob Lejewski, 2 strikes. He just barely fouls it off. What would have otherwise been the end of the game, and now chaos has ensued.
Here's 0 for 4, Kingston Liniak. Volker from the stretch. He swings, tears this one to straightaway center field. Emilio Corona in pursuit, and he makes the catch. We're headed to the knockout round here in Modesto. And the first Long Beach Coast Regulators tonight road broadcast. We're going to step aside for a moment while these teams determine who will take the home run cuts. This is the 4th knockout round of the season. For Long Beach, they are 1-2 when headed to this home run derby style of extra innings replacement. Don't go anywhere. We've got the finish to this one with Regulators Baseball returning on the Home Team Network. Readying for a knockout round. Here in Modesto, the Long Beach Regulators will swing first. And this is a game where they did exactly that with a 5-run top of the first inning. But the Roadsters crept their way back. With 7-5 at the beginning of the bottom of the ninth, it was still 7-5 when there were 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth. But strings of hits from Jacob Lejewski, Max Handren, and Osiris Johnson tie the game at 7 apiece. Cuba Bess will be the first home run swinger for Long Beach, with catcher Johnny Pappas throwing his pitches. And Pappas has appeared as a pitcher in 2 games over the last couple of weeks. So he is a reliable arm out there, despite the fact that he's only appeared in blowout losses. He is a right-hander, Bess a lefty. How the knockout round works, in case you're unfamiliar, there are no extra innings in the Pioneer League, merely a post-game home run derby. The players get 2 minutes to hit as many home runs as they can. Pappas pitching to Bess. He's watched a few. The first knockout round in Long Beach's history came against Modesto back in Long Beach, California at Blair Field. Bess swings for the first time and drives this one deep to right center field. That has the air and not the distance. He swings and drives another one. This one down the line. That should get out of here if it's fair, and it does exactly that. I believe there are 5 outs available. And they called that one an out. That left the yard. I think they're going to review that. Bess swings and knocks this one towards a light tower. It's most certainly fair, and it hits the light tower. Oh, my goodness. He drives another one, the same spot. This one could go. And it does. They're calling that home run number 2. I guess the one that we thought was the first must have been ruled foul because it left the yard. He pops up this swing. It took 3 rounds in the first time these teams tried this for anyone to actually hit it over the wall. Bess hits the top of the fence. That's out number 4. He watches again here. He's got 40 seconds left to spare. 1 out left to work with as well. He sends a high drive, headed for the light tower once again in right field, and that leaves the yard for home run number 3. Here's another one, but he's early on it. It might be foul. It looks fair, and it's gone for home run number 4. He fouls off the next one. No, that one looked like it left the yard as well, but they call it an out. I guess it was a little more shallow. So 4 home runs for Cuba Bess. That is tough to beat.
Yeah, it's one of the best knockout rounds we've seen from Long Beach all season of their initial 3.
Tyler Williams will try to match that for Modesto. This is his 20th game playing for this team this season. He's already slugged 4 home runs. Williams will also have a player pitching to him, it appears. I think that might be Max Handren throwing to him? No. Dom Rodriguez is setting up as the pitcher for Modesto. Another position player, although we have seen Rodriguez pitch because in a Long Beach blowout win over Modesto, he did what Johnny Pappas did that we just talked about, position player pitching. And Joey, while he warms up, what happened in full in that first knockout round? The Long Beach, by the way, is 1-2 in knockout rounds, losing to Modesto that first time.
It was the final game of the initial 12-game homestand on June 14th. It was a 6-6 tie and a 3-round knockout round. Now, should Williams get 4 in this round and tie it, we will go to another knockout round. Bess was in that first round, but no home runs left the yard at Blair Field until the 3rd round when Bryce Cannon beat Matthew Bardowell 3-1 for their first ever knockout loss and knockout round in Long Beach history.
Well, here we go. Williams standing in on the right side. We'll be craning our necks out of the press box to find that left field corner where we presume he might be swinging. Our view is obstructed to that side unless we're standing on our tiptoes and leaning our heads out of the press box. Well, 10 seconds have run off here, and Williams has yet to take a swing. Here he goes, and he pops the first one up. Again, 2 minutes expire or 5 outs. That will do it for the round unless he can hit 5 home runs and best Cuba Bess. He swings and charges this one deep to left field. That definitely has a chance. Headed for the corner of the wall, and that is gone. He swings and tags one towards the scoreboard. That has some good height to it. That is up, and that is off the scoreboard for home run number 2. He fouls off the next pitch. Well, not foul, but it's popped up. So 2 outs, 2 home runs, a minute 10 left to spare. Next pitch he watches. Rodriguez asking for his spot. This one is driven, blasted to left field, and there's no doubt about that one. Oh, my goodness. He's down by a home run. He grounds the next pitch on a liner down the left field chalk. He's got 50 more seconds, 2 more outs to spare, down by 1 home run. Next pitch, watches. Modesto trying for the surprise win. This is lifted high to left field. Everybody's waiting and watching this one, and it lands just short. Do or die on the next swing. Next pitch off his hands, 30 seconds left to spare. Watches again. He can take his time here with 25 seconds on the clock. The next swing counts, and he pops it up. Cuba Bess has won the knockout round for the Long Beach Regulators. And the chase for the first half wins record of 37 is still intact. First place still belongs to Long Beach in the Pioneer League. A half game ahead of Billings with a knockout round, 8-7 your official final score, but 7-7 in the in-game run total final here in Modesto, California. We'll come back very briefly with our Beach Ball post-game report. Don't go anywhere. We'll recap the knockout round and the crazy events of this Friday night game when we return with more Regulators baseball on the Home Team Network. Taking into our Beach Ball pregame report, the Long Beach Regulators win in the knockout round here in Modesto to open up the last series of the first half. And it's good for us. It's the first time the broadcast is sent on the road. So the LBC walks away victorious. We'll have you this entire weekend with a 6:50 Beach Ball pregame report tomorrow. And then rolling early, 10:40 Beach Ball pregame report on Sunday. But tonight, Cuba Bess is the hero with 4 home runs in that extra frame. And Joey, now Long Beach is 2-2 in knockout rounds this season, winning the latest pair.
Yeah, winning the one against the initial loss against Modesto. That was in Blair Field. Now Long Beach comes into Modesto's home yard and gets one on them. It was Cuba Bess that started things in the Blair Field knockout round against Modesto. He started things tonight and beat out Tyler Williams 4-3. Now 2-2. It's the first knockout round victory since the game at Yuba Sutter on June 23rd. That was a 2-round knockout round, so this is the quickest knockout round victory for Long Beach. It's also a victory in the Regulators uniform, so now 8-2 is the record in the alternate identity, specifically for the away jerseys for the alternate identity. They are now 5-2 in the uniforms. Mount up.
That's right. Regulators mount up to a knockout round win. 3 members of the Long Beach crew lead with multi-hit ball games. Eddie Pelk, who also records a couple RBIs in the leadoff spot. Emilio Corona and Anthony Mata. This game started with that huge 5-run top of the first inning with 5 hits coming through. 9 men sent to the plate for Long Beach, and that buoyed them for a long time. 2 more runs in the 6th inning helped out there. That's where Pelk earned both of his RBIs on a knock that brought home Corona and Mata. But the Roadsters just stuck with it, scoring in the first, scoring in the second, another run in the 5th, 2 in the 6th, and then down to their final strike in the 9th inning. They prevail with 3 consecutive hits to, once again, rob Zach Volker of what would have been his league best 9th save. Jacob Lejewski, Max Hendren, and Osiris Johnson combining for that effort for the Roadsters. I'm sure we'll hear more from those guys this week as these teams set for 2 more. Tomorrow, your starting pitching matchup looks to be Nathan Hemmerling for Long Beach and Devin Hernandez, the right-hander, for Modesto. Hemmerling 3-0 and Devin Hernandez 4-1. We'll talk about all that at 6:50 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for our beach ball pregame report. But for now, thank you so much for joining us on the road in Modesto, California. Coast win as the Regulators in the knockout round here on this Friday night. With Joey Miller, I'm Jesse Cook, thanking you so much for listening and signing off.